Well, the road teams continue to dominate in the second round of the playoffs. Last night, the New York Knicks overcame a 20-point deficit to beat the Celtics in overtime, and the Nuggets knocked off the Oklahoma City Thunder with a late-game winner. Tonight, the Cavs try to even up their series with the Pacers. They trail 1-0. Tip-off set for 6, followed by the Warriors Timberwolves from Minnesota at 8:30.
SportsCenter is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. It is a good Tuesday. Let's go.
Is
Let's
it?
do this. Sure.
Pledge has tried to hit a button like 4 times, and he's looking frustrated. Been back at work 2 minutes, and things aren't working right.
I know it.
You got to wonder what the hell Edwin did over there yesterday.
Give the guy a Monday off, and he comes back and look at him. He's all prima donna over there and doing that kind of stuff.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh.
Sounded good, though.
You know, Pledge did take...
Here we go!
Sure. Thought we were going to hear Taco Tuesday, being a Tuesday and all. But then again.
Nah.
You had steak fingers. It's a steak finger Tuesday.
I mean, there's still more meals to be had in this day. Although I got pizza on my mind for dinner, not tacos.
Pizza, huh?
Mellow mushroom.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
The wife is not going to be home for dinner. And then at first it was like, hey, you're kind of on your own for dinner. It's like, but what I'm going to tonight, I don't think there's dinner there, so how about pizza? So I'm really not on my own for dinner.
So you got to go get the pizza, bring it back, and not eat it all.
Not eat it all. That is the the challenge. But yeah, so hey, whatever you want to do, man, you're on your own for dinner. But I want pizza when I get home. All right.
Nice.
Yeah. Sure. Do you love when decisions are made for you?
Absolutely, which is most of the time.
And most of the time, I don't care.
Yeah.
The sad part is I was thinking pizza anyway.
Yeah, well, look, dude, pizza's good anytime.
Yes.
I mean, I could have pizza a lot.
Yes.
Although the doc told me today, he said, Joe, the carbs and the pasta, you might want to cut back on that a little bit. My problem is I love Italian food.
Uh-huh.
I love Italian food. And so I eat it quite often, as a matter of fact. And, your cholesterol's a little high. You might want to lay off the carbs and the pasta. Not so much of that.
When was the last time you listened to your doctor?
Well, it's been a while, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore, so I might want to pay attention a time or two.
At this point, it's too late, man.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's too late.
Maybe. I'm just going to have as much fun as I possibly can until, well, that day comes.
Yes. So have all the pasta you want.
I plan on it, dude. Again, when it comes to Mexican food and Italian food, I'm in.
You said it was a little high.
Little high.
It's not a lot high.
So I could go higher. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying there's goals to be reached.
Well, I guess so. I don't know what the number is. You want me to reach, but
I have no idea what they are. I don't know how to read said scoreboard. But at the same time, he said you might want to.
I know is
he didn't tell you you must. So you can still do what the hell you want.
He gives me a sheet of paper, right, with all these different tests on it. The good news is, and what I was happy about, said, yeah, Joe, the numbers on your kidneys and your liver, that's right there. It looks great.
Your liver looks great?
My liver looks great. I'm like, damn.
Your liver looks great?
I said, this is great, Doc.
Cholesterol is the least of your worries.
He said the numbers are good. But they always have like a score. Like you get a score, and then it's supposed to fit into this, I don't know, 1 to 30 or whatever, the case may be.
Yeah.
And so my cholesterol number was like way over there to the right where it was supposed to be. So it's a ways over there. He said, well, we'll check it again in 6 weeks. But in the meantime.
6 weeks?
6 weeks.
So you got 6 weeks left to eat all the pasta.
Well, I guess. And he said if that, then we may have to, decide to put you on something or whatever.
So right now, you're not even going on any medication for this?
No medication. Told me to get some fish oil.
All right.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's normal.
All right.
You're fine with it.
I'm already doing that, though, and it's not working.
Well,
I can't give up the pasta
I mean,
and the enchiladas. Maybe I could go to a corn tortilla instead of a flour tortilla. I don't know, but
those suck.
Well, they don't suck,
No,
but it's not near as good as a flour tortilla.
Those suck when you're forced to go that route. When you choose to go that route, they don't suck as much.
No, I seriously, they don't. I don't mind a corn tortilla, but I prefer flour, though.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't put you on medication now.
Not yet.
Now, I'm not a doctor, but I'd say you're okay.
All right, well.
I mean, look.
Dude, I heard nothing else. He said, your liver's fine. I'm like, hallelujah. Woo!
So is this just like a regular checkup, physical type thing?
Yeah, it's just a little blood test results. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Cholesterol's a little high.
It's a little high, yeah.
You might want to.
A little high.
Those don't sound like doctor's orders. That's a suggestion that I expect to hear from every doctor.
Well, it's kind of like, Joe, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
That's what doctors are supposed to do.
But if it might be a good idea. So I don't know if that's good. Is that like limiting it to 1 day a week, 2 days a week? What?
So what does this mean? You got to go to Renzo's tonight for dinner to talk about it?
Maybe. And I told I said, look, Doc, I don't like fish. I don't eat fish. I'm not going to start eating fish.
Yeah, fried shrimp, you're fine.
Well, whatever. I'm not eating fish. So I guess I could go to chicken or turkey, right? Is that better than a steak?
It's cholesterol, right?
Yes.
I don't know that that's better for your cholesterol.
He didn't mention that. He said.
He
said carbs and pasta.
Yeah.
Those were the two things he mentioned.
Yeah, no more peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Doc, I will cut those out.
Yeah, dude, I'm out of that already.
I know. That's why I'm giving the ideas that you could tell the doc that you've cut out. You know what, man? I haven't had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in 60 years.
I had a tuna fish sandwich for lunch today.
Yeah, well, next time put that on a piece of lettuce and not bread, and you're doing good.
That's not happening either.
Well, I mean, you can. You get, what do they call, lettuce wraps.
No.
No,
dude, I look like a rabbit?
I'm telling you. The lettuce wrap tuna sandwich is not bad. I can't do lettuce wraps with, like, meat, but the lettuce tuna sandwich, and they got one like at Jimmy John's, especially when I was going through my weight loss surgery and I had to make those choices, that actually was pretty good.
Look, I don't want to have a meal, and then an hour later I'm hungry. And that sounds like exactly what that is. You have a lettuce wrap with some tuna fish, and an hour later you're hungry again.
If you're supposed to cut out the carbs, the bread is the big thing for you, sir.
Well, it is. It
Right?
is. I like bread.
I do too, and flour tortillas.
And flour tortillas.
Like when I first did the weight loss surgery, it was the same kind of thing. So I would have a breakfast taco, have 1 or 2 bites to get the flavor with the tortilla, and eat the rest of it with a fork, which sucked, but it was, so you're getting a little bit of that craving in there, but not eating the entire tortilla.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's some small adjustments you can make and still mix in your pasta and your enchiladas.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of enchiladas, big fan of spaghetti and meatballs.
Yes.
What can I say?
Yeah.
But the liver's good. That was good.
That should be a big headline.
I was like, woo!
Because your liver's been through hell and back.
It's a fighter, baby.
I mean, you say that about other body parts, but your liver might be the reigning champion.
It is a fighter. I'm telling you, we're good to go.
See, he didn't tell you to cut down on your alcohol.
No, he didn't say that. The liver's good.
Uh-huh.
Said the kidneys were good.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is, it was just that cholesterol thing.
He's got to tell you something.
Yeah.
But again, he said might, could. I think you're fine. Just live your life.
No, I plan on doing it.
It ain't urgent. It ain't, if you don't do this, you will die. Because you still have to go enjoy life.
Yes, exactly.
Medical advice from medics.
So when first thing I'm doing, when I get off today, I'm going to go have a drink.
Well, absolutely. You got to celebrate.
Obviously, everything's
have some breadsticks or a basket of tortilla and chips on a Taco Tuesday. Why not?
It's all good.
Might. See, that word might and could when you're dealing with medical and me. Like, you and I weren't working together. It was still Rob Thompson. But at one point, I thought I was having a heart attack. Seriously, man, I was in pain. I was here. So I go to the urgent care. They're like, I think your gallbladder needs to come out. And I was like, you think? And then he said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to check you into the hospital, and we might take this out on Monday. I said, might. Still in Reagan's playing tonight. I got a game to go do. And I'm starting to feel better. And he's like, you're not really better. It's the medicine. I said, yeah, but I feel better, and you're telling me you might. So I went and did the game that night. Rob was all freaked out. We were doing the show, and, I was struggling. I ain't going to lie. And then on Monday, it came out. But, it didn't say. But what was I going to check into the hospital all weekend during a football season?
No.
To might have surgery on Monday?
No.
If it's that bad, take it now, or
right,
I'm going to enjoy the weekend.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah,
that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy the weekend?
Well, I did. I think I saw you that Saturday at the Roo Pub because I was feeling good. At that point, the medicine had kicked in and the gallbladder quit screaming, and then I went to the doctor on Monday as I was told to do. They were like, "Yeah, that thing needs to come out now. You're lucky it didn't burst. You could have died." It went from might to I could have died. Yeah, you're fine.
Well, you could have, but you didn't.
I didn't.
So it's a happy ending.
And I had a great weekend.
It's a happy ending
it
all the way
always
around.
Is. Yeah.
Yeah. Worked out good. Sometimes you got to take a chance. You just got to take a chance, Minix.
That's you, Ben. Somebody get Ryan Eagle a big old bowl of spaghetti to celebrate his liver being in good shape.
With some meatballs, by the way. Don't leave out the meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like meat sauce, too. So you pile all that meat on there, and it's all good.
See, Tom Guerrero says, it's tough. I had to lay off bread, tortilla, pasta. But you were forced to. You were told you have to do this. Joe was suggested. And I would say, screw that until you're told you have to. Right now, it's a suggestion.
Sure.
And a test you in 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
They didn't put you on medicine right away, so I'd say you're fine.
Did I mention the liver was good?
No. Your liver's all right, huh?
It's good. It really is.
Are you sure?
Numbers were perfect.
Do they need to redo that test?
No. I think it was perfect. I'm telling you, he's a tough dude, that liver. That guy can take a pounding and keep going.
The abuse.
The abuse. Especially this past weekend, man. Luckily, I got my blood taken before this past weekend. I'm not sure how it is
So
now.
they didn't retest you today?
No, you get the blood test, and it takes a week, right?
Uh-huh.
So if they get the results in. So.
All right. Man. It's crazy. Because you're what, 63?
Yeah.
So you got about 50 solid years of damage in your liver.
That's about right. 13 when I had my first beer after mowing a lawn. It was the best beer I think I've ever had in my whole life. It was a Schlitz.
A Schlitz?
A Schlitz. Wow. Dude brought out a 6-pack of Schlitz after I mowed his yard.
When you were 13?
13.
That's crazy. I remember how old I was. I remember my first beer was Big Mouth Mickey. Remember those?
Yeah.
And yet I still like beer today. It's crazy.
Well, some things never go away. I like beer. I like other things too.
Mm-hmm. Man.
I like the suggestions I'm getting.
Yeah, see, now on our YouTube, and you can go to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Joseph says, how about zucchini pasta with pesto sauce and turkey? See, that just sounds disgusting.
Well, it sounds that way, but you know what? It's probably pretty damn good. And if you didn't know it, it's kind of like your Axis, right? If I didn't know I was eating it, I'd probably enjoy it.
Deer meat?
Right, but if somebody just brought it out and said, here you go, Joe, spaghetti and meatballs.
No, see, the zucchini pasta is awful. I've had that
you
before.
Have?
Yeah. Oh, Joanna's tried that turkey ground beef stuff. You could tell that right away. That ain't the same. No.
It's not that bad.
I mean, you keep telling yourself that.
It's not.
But we all find different things that we like that help you through when the doctor says you got to make some sort of change. You got to find whatever the substitute is. It's just the substitute's got to be close.
You know what I don't understand? And I'll just say
Here
this out
we
loud.
go.
And I'm going to piss off a lot of people, I'm
Here we
sure.
Here we go.
You know, growing up, and even in my young adulthood, I never heard of gluten-free.
Yeah.
Did that just become a thing like out of the clear blue sky somewhere? Where people they can't be glutened up?
I don't know. I think once they realized what was causing people to get sick, they realized the whole gluten aspect of
Is that
things.
what it is?
I think it is.
Okay,
because there are people that get violently ill, and it's because of the gluten. And once they figured that out, that's the gluten-free aspect of stuff.
So
Kind of like the nut allergy.
So
remember when you got peanuts on an airplane?
So back in the day, when people got violently ill, it was from gluten. They didn't know what the hell it was.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And all the other wonderful things they put in our food to make it sit on a shelf for months.
I just thought that's just gluten-free. Gluten just popped up out of nowhere. It fell out of the clear blue sky. Gluten, all of a sudden, wow, that's a thing?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
You know, it's like buying a sugar-free Reese's cup. What's the point?
or a non-alcoholic beer. It's like, yeah, I just got to go pee. I'm not drunk, but I got to go pee all day.
Yeah. Yeah. He's on Twitter at Joe Reinigle 210. All you gluttony types.
Yeah, I
tell them what hell you've gone through
no
and why you
offense, I'm just
appreciate
like-
the gluten-free options. You can also tweet at me at Jason Minix. Lots to talk about tonight. We were both dead wrong on the NBA games last night.
Well, we were, yeah, 1-1.
Yeah. What a night of basketball, though. What a night of hockey that we won't talk about. But for those that know, you know, hockey was incredible. Let's talk about it all coming up. No, it's just basketball here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. When you need an electrician, you know Hill Electric is available for both residential and commercial needs. I've used Hill Electric for a variety of projects at my home through the years, and for over 3 decades, the family-owned Hill Electric has served San Antonio homes and businesses. And whatever your project is, Hill Electric has the right service at the right price, never a service charge, always free estimates. So it costs you absolutely nothing to figure out what it will take to get a project done. Whether it's a project at the office, project at the house, call Hill Electric, 210-404-9074. 404-9074 or hill-electric.com.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're watching on YouTube, appreciate that. Subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. A big concert coming live, if you want to buy your tickets. August 28th at the Aztec Theater. Citizen Soldier. That'd be a hell of a show. But honestly, one of the opening bands, Elita's Way, is on that bill. That's going to be a good lineup. I believe August 28th, without looking at a calendar, that's a Thursday night because high school football, I believe, starts August 29th. I've been working on the high school football schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to quit that about 5 years ago.
What? High school or?
Yeah, high school football. See, you're like one of those athletes. Well, I got to go home, talk to the family, see how I feel, and if I'm going to prepare for that or not. Here you go.
Yeah, I start looking at the schedule, although I sure wish some of these schools would actually send the schedules. You've got it. Respond to the damn email, and then don't bitch when you say, why don't you come to our place? Well, I don't know. You guys never sent a schedule. I've emailed you like 7 times. Make the schedule with the games that I have, and then towards the end of the year, like, this game isn't looking as good as I thought it might back in, May. These teams are playing good. The playoff implications will flex out. It is a Thursday night for Citizen Soldier at the Aztec Theater. If you want to go, be caller number 12 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. And again, if you don't win the tickets, buy them, livenation.com. We get a game 1 in the NBA playoffs tonight between Golden State and Minnesota. Of course, the Warriors coming off that 7-game series of which they knocked out the Houston Rockets. The 7-seeded Warriors did. As we all told you, Houston's overrated. They suck. They're done. But so we get that game 1 tonight. All the other game 1s in round 2, the road team has won.
That's pretty incredible. It really is. And who can explain that? Although I just think that the teams that are on the road are pretty damn good. I mean, the Pacers are playing great basketball right now. I don't think Cleveland saw that coming. And you look at Boston last night; they collapsed. They blew that. And then as far as the Denver Nuggets winning that thing, they won it on the last, a 3-pointer there close to the end. So it's just a good basketball game, and all these teams are good that are left.
Yeah, and again, I will say, I still think Boston wins their series. The Knicks showed me something last night. And there was a lot of talk that they could get swept nationally or a gentleman's sweep, which I guess could still be in play. But when you're down 20 on the road in Raleigh, especially when you look at the way Jalen Brunson plays, I mean, that dude is a difference maker. But the entire team effort last night, it would have been so easy for them to just quit. But I don't know if I should be more impressed with what the Knicks did last night or more pissed if I'm a Boston fan about what they did. At what point in a playoff game, when you're watching a 20-point lead disappear, do you go, the threes aren't working. Can I just put the ball on the floor and drive to the hoop?
I don't know if they know how to do that. That's the problem. I mean, the Celtics like, Wait a minute, drive to the hoop. We didn't go over that in practice. We shoot threes. 60 3-point shot attempts last night, which is a playoff record, by the way. And the Celtics only made 15 of those.
They missed 45.
45 3-pointers they missed and kept chunking them up there. That's the only way New York got back in the game.
Sure.
That's the only way. So, look, New York sucks, okay? They may not win another game in this series. They're just not that good. So I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about it at all. Boston's a better team. They're the deeper team. They're going to win this series. So I fully expect them to blow the Knicks out of the water tomorrow night, and then we'll go from there.
It'll be interesting, but the Knicks do have the 1-0 series lead. I might be actually more surprised that the Nuggets beat Oklahoma City in OKC than I am surprised that the Knicks got the Game 1 win over Boston.
I'm not surprised. I told you the Nuggets were good, and they'd make this a series.
I know that, but for them to get Game 1, for the Joker to go 42-22, and the Joker just completely turned it on. I mean, I can't tell, and not trying to sound excusey, but it'd been a while since Oklahoma City played, and they looked like it early, but they were in control, and I don't know what the hell happened at halftime, but at halftime, the Joker came out a different guy.
Well, look, Oklahoma City's got no answer for him. They're going to have to find somebody that can actually guard that guy because he was doing whatever he wanted to do last night, whether it's shooting the three, driving inside for that little bunny shot that he's got there right there in the paint. He was doing whatever he wanted to do. Oklahoma City's got to find an answer for him, and they're going to be in big trouble. The fact that game came down to a last-second shot, and credit Aaron Gordon for hitting that thing, man. That was a hell of a shot. But it's a huge win for Denver. Huge win for Indiana, a huge win for the New York Knicks. So props to them. And we got a series in all three of those. I can't wait to see what happens tonight.
Well, and again, you think about what we saw in the fourth quarter. Joker had 18 points in the fourth quarter last night. 18 points. That dude just said, I am taking over and you guys can't stop me. There is nothing you can do. And what's nuts is SGA had 13. You know, you got the two MVP candidates both putting on MVP-type performances in the fourth quarter looking for help from their teammates. Obviously, Aaron Gordon hits the game winner, but that's just fun basketball. I mean, I don't know how people turn off games and go to bed, especially when you've got games like what you had last night. Like, I hope you guys didn't go to bed while the Knicks and Celtics were still playing. You're not that old. But, like, that game, if you'd have said, I turned it off when it was a 20-point game, I get it, right? That Oklahoma City game, you couldn't turn it off. In fact, at one point on the second TV, I had the split screen going with hockey, and then it just went all basketball. Hockey last night was phenomenal. And I know, Joe, you don't care about hockey, and most of you listening don't care about the hockey playoffs have been incredible. Go split screen if you can. Give it a while they're at halftime, although, you know, Chuck at halftime you got to watch. But do yourself a favor and watch a little hockey because the games, for the most part, have been incredible.
Well, see, here's the problem.
Here's what problem.
Why don't you're going to have to give us all a lesson, all right, on how to, because I could sit there and watch it, and I see a bunch of guys skating back and forth, knocking a puck this way and that way, and knocking each other down on the ground. But, I mean, I don't know what an offsides is. I don't know what an icing is. I don't know what any of that stuff is.
You ever watch a telling, how do you say it, one of those soap opera shows on the Spanish channel?
No, never have.
Yes, you have. You have no idea what they're saying, but there's a reason you're interested because you know what you're looking at.
Yeah, but I don't see that with hockey players.
Different kind of sexy, my friend.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, you can just tell when it's an intense battle. And you could figure it out along the way what is offsides. It's not that complicated. It's not complicated. Two-line pass you could figure out. But just
two-line pass, I wouldn't even have thought to ask you that. Hey, Minix, what's a two-line pass?
it's pretty simple. There's 3 lines. If it goes over 2 of them, that's illegal.
That's a 2-line pass.
That would see.
All right,
look at that.
Go.
Hockey expert Joe Reinagel.
I'm a quick learner.
Yes. Offsides.
Well, I guess when one guy crosses the line when he's not supposed to.
There you go.
How the hell do you know that?
Well,
it's not like they're in formation.
Well,
they're all skating all over the damn place.
You can't go into the zone until the puck does. You can't get there first. That makes you offsides.
Wow.
The blue line.
Uh-huh.
That's in the goalie area, right? You understand? You know what a blue line is, right? It's
I know
the
what
line
blue
that's blue.
Sure, it's a blue line.
You can't go past that until the puck does.
Well, this snap, folks, is courtesy of Jason Minix and his Hockey 101.
Carolina, Washington tonight. Edmonton, Vegas tonight. Tomorrow night, the Dallas Stars. They start after Winnipeg wins an incredible game.
Okay, I got a question for you.
All right.
It relates to hockey.
All right.
Is there some TikTok influencer that sits behind the Stars bench? Have you heard of this? I heard this story today. Yeah, she's got big old boobs.
Look, she's been there forever, and it's very cold at a hockey rink, and I don't know if she's a TikTok influencer or has become one, but she's been there forever, and she sits right behind the coach, so she gets a lot of airtime. Well, and there are a lot of times where I think he tries to position himself to be right in the middle. Now,
I think ESPN makes him position himself right there.
Little left.
Exactly.
Little left. I don't know if this is the case with this particular one, but I know there's hockey arenas around that various plastic surgeons will send their clients, if you will, with those kind of seats because they get a lot of airtime.
I heard she was some sort of an influencer who's done very well, and she's able to purchase these said tickets, and she made sure she was there because she knew she'd get a lot of airtime.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, she's got the assets to do that.
Now, see, I might watch the Stars game. A little research for the show.
If that's what gets you to watch hockey, all for it.
Yeah, well, I'm saying.
I mean, ESPN is not dumb.
No.
If you notice, when Dallas scores, they immediately go to the coach, who looks very stoic, but the fan behind is not.
Yeah, I think whoever told me the story this morning at the gym was saying, that it's like the announcers even said, man, that camera guy really likes the coach.
Whatchamacallit? The cameraman that gets the assignment. You just keep camera on the coach. I want that one.
Yeah.
It's a bidding process, seniority.
Absolutely. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
Well,
whatever it takes to get you to watch hockey. Watch hockey. There's good basketball tonight, too.
Yeah, I can't wait for this game tonight. I think Minnesota's got a legit shot of taking the Warriors out.
I mean, the always popular second-round 6-7 matchup. I just wonder, from an energy level, Minnesota's been off for several days. Golden State riding high after a Game 7 blowout win over the Houston Rockets.
Minnesota's a 6-point favorite tonight. Last time I checked. I don't know if I give up 6 points. That would be tough.
Minnesota at home?
I did take Denver, though, plus 9.5, 10 last night they were getting. Yeah. Piece of cake.
Cha-ching.
I was never worried.
Mm-hmm. Have the Cowboys become Tupperware? Interesting commentary from one Kyle Brandt. Let's talk about it. Coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, fallout from Pop's promotion continues. We'll look at the future under Mitch.
Quote-unquote promotion. And we'll also take a look at the NBA playoffs as they roll on. It's the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, San Antonio, multiple tours overseas, years of protecting the country, it all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training toward our low-cost degree and certificate programs. We call that credit where credit is due. For over 75 years, our dedicated success coaches have been helping service members achieve their goals. Get started with local support and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATS.
Made in America, highest quality. That's Connecticut Quality Water Softeners. There's a reason Dave Ramsey says a Connecticut is a wise investment for your home.
Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy.
So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it.
It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country. 210-656-PURE.
Check them out at ConnecticutSA.com and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
License number 38961.
ConnecticutSA.com. Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook.
Let's Rodeo San Antonio Brahma style. The herd you love returns to the Alamo Dome for their Let's Rodeo theme game. Join us Friday, May 9th at 7 p.m. when your San Antonio Brahmas battle the DC Defenders. Dust off your boots and grab your cowboy hat to celebrate with rodeo-inspired fun for the whole family. Enjoy a pregame happy hour in the HEB Plaza with $3 frozen margaritas and beer. Get your tickets today at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
Keep your ride summer road trip ready with parts, tools, and accessories from Summit Racing. We have what you need for pre-trip maintenance, plus essentials like emergency roadside kits, tire inflators, jumper cables, boost jump starters, tool sets, and a whole lot more. So hit the highways or take the roads less traveled with confidence. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 25th, 2025. SummitRacing.com. Let's build it together.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, Instagram, at Joe Reinagel 210. I'm at Jason Minix. Station is at SA Sports Star. You can comment on our YouTube page, which is always interesting. Appreciate you guys tuning in and watching on at YouTube.
Especially if you're listening with your grandpa.
Dude, nothing better.
Nothing better than that, isn't it? I mean, that's just good bonding time.
You
and Grandpa sitting around listening to the Blitz.
I would say my love of doing play-by-play stems from my grandpa. We used to go up to Oklahoma, and he would sit on the back porch and listen to Texas Rangers games.
Yeah.
And And even Joanna's grandfather, Grandpa Oliver, when we first together, he used to do the same thing, listening to Seattle Mariner games up there in, he's Washington State, right? Nothing like sitting around just kind of hanging out, listening to baseball on the radio with your grandpa. So Caden on our YouTube channel says, hey, the Blitz, I was wondering, could you please give me San Antonio Brahma tickets? Please. Me and my grandpa listen to y'all every day. Please, guys.
I think Caden should probably call in.
Yep, I think we need to hear from Caden.
We need to hear from Caden, and maybe Grandpa can chime in if he wants to.
Yep.
But I think that would be the least she could do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caden, is she?
I don't know.
All right.
I'm sorry if you're not, Caden.
Caden, 210-656-ESPN.
It was a bad assumption on my part. My apologies.
There's no guarantees we're going to hook you up, but we do need to hear from you. I'd say there's a strong possibility, but see if the phone works. Your keyboard does. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Some interesting football nuggets to jump in. Anybody out there a fan of politicians getting involved with your sports?
No.
So yesterday, though, we talked about President Trump after speaking at University of Alabama's graduation in a conversation he had with Nick Saban, talked about maybe an executive order to deal with NIL. And until you see what that looks like, I don't know what to think of it other than at least somebody's going to do something. Now you got Ted Cruz. And I know for a lot of people, your skin just crawled. Ted Cruz involved in any kind of sports. And again, if you're a fan of a team and Ted Cruz shows up wearing your shirt, you know that's bad news. He's got an incredible streak going on right now.
Bet on the other team in that case. Yes.
He talks about how the NFL has been tiptoeing around a rule that protects college and high school football, and he wants to get in there and adjust the rule. And this kind of goes back to, we first started talking about this and uncovered this rule, this law, if you will, from the 60s that protects high school football on Friday nights. And we learned about this when Philadelphia and Green Bay opened up in Brazil, that the NFL was the first Friday night game for the NFL. Well, they could do that partly because there's a rule, a law, that you can't play an NFL game within 50 miles of a high school stadium. Well, that covers all of them, right?
Well, they could also do that because it only starts the second week of September through sometime in December. So they did it correct because it was on the first week in September.
Yep.
So they did that. And reading the article, though, Jason, it covers broadcasting as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because 50 miles is a thing, but if you're broadcasting an NFL game, they're thinking, well, a lot of people stay home from the high school game to watch the NFL game. So the NFL is they're doing it right, even though it is streaming, but they're taking some liberties where they can.
They found a loophole in the rule. It is not on broadcast television. When these rules were enacted, the internet had not yet been invented.
So 1960, yeah.
They do need to update some things. There are in COVID kind of changed some of the rules in Texas about broadcasting on video, televising, whether it's streaming or television, Friday night games. That used to be a no-no. Now you can kind of get away with it because you're streaming it, although you got Thursday night lights and you got games on Saturday that could be live, but Friday, because they were worried about affecting the gate. But technology, and they were like, it's kind of going back to high school football, not uncommon. Saturday, Monday after a game, some dad's going to reach out and say, can I get a copy of the game because I want to take your radio call and put it on my kid's huddle highlight reel. Cool, here you go. And so you understand the idea of what they want to do from a broadcast standpoint, but they do need to update a lot of these rules.
Well, they need to, but look, if they're going to pick on the NFL, they've got to pick on college football too. You got college football games now on Friday nights. So, you can't have it one way with the NFL without covering everything. I'm with you, and you've said this for a million, ever since I've known you, Friday nights for high school football.
They're sacred.
That's the way it should be. Saturday has always been college football. That should be the way it is. And then Sunday and Monday night are pro football. But television pays so much money now, and now these streaming services are paying the amount of money they're paying. They want their games on. They don't give a damn what night it is. But it's a fact, and it's something that's got to be looked into. Now, the fact that Ted Cruz doesn't have anything better to do at this point in time other than worrying about this is a little concerning. And I'm not just picking on Ted Cruz here. It's everybody. They get into these rabbit holes, and I'm not sure exactly what he wants to do because right now, the way I read this article, the NFL's not doing anything wrong.
They have found a loophole. Are they going by the letter of the law or the spirit of the law? And they're certainly going by the letter, not the spirit, because the NFL, if they could, will own every day. I mean, they had Sunday and Monday to themselves, then they took over Thursday. Now they're trying to take over Friday. Saturdays are kind of interesting because there's so much money involved in college football. But let's face it, if there starts to be NFL games on a Friday, and while I hate it, and I even know Jeff Traylor hates it, a UTSA game on a Friday night. Jeff Traylor is a high school football coach to the core, but he understands their conference. The way for them to get national exposure is to play a game on Friday night. If most cases, Longhorns or Aggies are playing the same time UTSA is playing, you're probably going to watch the Longhorns and the Aggies. If you're in another state, think about your own habits. When you're flipping through and you see, oh, look, East Carolina's playing Marshall. I don't give a damn, right? Because your team or bigger name teams are playing on Saturday, you're probably watching those games. On a Friday, a Thursday, or the random Tuesday, the Wednesday MAC action, you'll watch those games because we all just want to watch more football. And when those games are in these standalone windows, you're going to watch. Well, the NFL and these streaming services, they know they can take those standalone windows. It becomes a national broadcast, not a regional broadcast. You put it on a streaming service, and we're all going to sign up, and we're going to buy that service because we want to watch that one NFL game, even if it's teams we don't care about. We probably have some sort of either fantasy or other kind of action on said NFL game.
Exactly. And look, that's where it's going. And I don't know what Fox, CBS, NBC, all of these things are going to do, although they're using their streaming services to kind of take care of some of that stuff. But it's going there. It just is. And I don't know if it will happen in our lifetime, but at some point in time, I would assume that it will all be streaming. I don't know what's going to happen to the networks. Who knows? But I know my kids, they watch streaming stuff. That's all they do.
People our age, and when I say that, I would probably say 35 and up, you get labeled a cord cutter. My daughter, 26, cord neverer. Since she has left for college and has been on her own, she has never signed up for any kind of cable service. It's all been streaming. And the reality is, other than sports, there is no appointment television.
Nope.
We all watch all our shows whenever we want on demand, and depending on what you have. If you have Apple, you're watching these series, and you go, hey, man, what's that on Apple? I don't have Apple. But maybe you'll hear about this show and go get Apple or Peacock, or I think everybody has Netflix by now. But that's kind of the way it works. The only thing that we can all agree to watch at the same time is the game.
That's it. And you're going to make plans to do that. And so it's the king right now. Football is king. Basketball at this point in time is king. You're going to make time to go watch that stuff. So I'm not sure exactly what Ted Cruz is trying to do here, or I guess he's got his reasons, but I just look, let it happen.
He's got some rich guy or coach in his ear saying they shouldn't be able to do this. Here's the law. Fix it, Ted.
Rich dude that's got a kid in high school.
Well, I mean, I got season tickets, man. I could miss 3 games because I got to go watch my kid play. I don't know. I mean, there's always a reason behind it.
Well, that game's on Friday night again this year. The game, they're back in Brazil, correct?
Yeah.
So it's Friday night. But according to the letter of the law, the NFL's not doing anything wrong. But then when this thing goes through the second week of December, okay? So the second week in September to the second week in December, you're not supposed to have NFL games on a Friday or a Saturday night. So that's the letter of the law that was written back in 1960. But there are so many laws that are outdated, right? I mean, this is just another one, and I'm not sure that this one, I don't know, should be on the top of any politician's list at this point in time.
You know, you say that, but if you're Ted Cruz, whatever your end goal is, you're getting talked about on a sports radio station that never talks about you.
Well,
and so
I'm sure Cruz is thrilled.
I mean, he's bringing at least attention to something that
he is
maybe doesn't necessarily need it, but maybe it does. Maybe they do need to look at it because, you know, the Black Friday games used to be a big college day, and now the NFL is taking that.
Yeah, but usually that Black Friday game is during the afternoon. Most of the college games are at night. That's how they're getting away with that because it ends before the 6 o'clock Eastern time window when the other college football games start.
And for the most part, high schools are deep in the playoffs.
Well, I blame the Aggies for that.
The Aggies?
I blame the Aggies.
Well, I mean,
for screwing up that Friday, that Black Friday. Because they left the Big 12 to go to the SEC. That was everybody looked forward to that game. It was Thursday night usually. It was Thanksgiving night when they played that game.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody looked forward to that.
Yeah.
And then the Aggies screwed it up.
So how did they screw up Black Friday games?
Well, because I'm disappointed from not seeing it on Thursday night.
Is that what it is?
That's right.
Because now we get that Thursday. You get the triple header. So they had to move it to Friday because, you know.
Well, they didn't move it to Friday. Because I guess they're playing now.
Yeah.
But when they left, it screwed up Thursday.
You started with a good argument.
I blame the Aggies.
That was the most Aggie thing I've heard you say.
Damn Aggies.
Yes, damn Aggies. The more football, the better.
Yes.
All I'm hearing, Joe, is you need to convince the wife to let you put another TV in the living room.
I really don't want another TV in the living room.
You really do.
I've seen your setup, and it's like I'm confused.
I want more, you know.
Well, unless I could get like the Roo Pub set up, that would be nice.
That would be.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do that. Get yourself an additional TV.
Right.
See, mine is still sitting on a table.
Yeah, right.
I mean, and until I get the green light to hang that other one on the wall, because what I want to do is put another one on the other side and end up with 3.
Do you think your wife would notice if you put it on the wall?
Yes.
No.
I think she probably would notice. You know the old saying about pick your battles?
Sure.
I mean, the fact that I set that way, I used to set it up on the weekends for football and then have to put it away. And then bring it back out every weekend. And then so the fact that she's let it stay up there, eventually it will just show up on the wall, and then what is she going to do?
Well, I don't know.
Yes.
She'll tell you to take it down.
But how much trouble? She can't take it down once you mount it to the wall. See, it's just ultimately going to end up having to be her idea.
You don't have the stones to do that.
Yes, you're right. It needs to be her idea.
Exactly.
Yes. Or there's going to be something that she wants, and in the trade-off,
I got it.
The TVs, the extra TVs will go there. See, Tom Guerrero says you just need an additional house attachment.
Right, exactly. Or a man cave. Yeah, you need to build onto your house, Minix, and put in a man cave. You can have as many TVs as you want.
Yeah. Have you been to my house? The whole thing is a man cave, if you ask my wife.
It kind of is.
Right?
Well, that one room is, for sure.
Yeah.
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 But you don't sit in there.
No.
There's no TVs in there.
No, there's no room for TVs.
Right.
That's what the living room is for. And
I prefer my back patio.
Second and third TV. See, when you're going to put a second TV on the back patio?
I'm not. Don't need to. All I want is a bigger TV out there.
Why don't you have one yet?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because you don't have the balls to just go do it. Because you haven't been given permission.
Because I actually took your advice and crawled up there and unplugged the TV, plugged it back in, and it started working again. I was all ready for the warranty paperwork.
Uh-huh.
You get a bigger one. Oh, I'll pay a couple $100 more for a bigger TV.
I think you could order a TV, a bigger one, throw it out there, and your wife wouldn't even notice.
I blame the Aggies.
You blame the Aggies for that. Eventually, we all want a house and a TV setup that's like at the Roo Pub. Until then, you got to go to the Roo Pub to enjoy such a setup with those 3 massive 170-inch screens, TVs all around. Any big game, any big fight, no better place to go watch than the Roo Pub there at 281 and at Redland Road. And when you get into the Roo Pub, go hungry. The food, fantastic. They've got the biggest and best wings in town, about 15 different burgers on the menu, including that great bison burger, the Wemby burger. I love their fried shrimp over there. Great salads, great appetizers. And don't forget steak night every Wednesday, 12-ounce ribeye, your potato, your salad for $19.95. Can't beat that deal. The Roo Pub has happy hour weekdays from 11 to 6. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Riding 281 with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6. KTFM Floresville. And everywhere at sasportstar.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Missions fans, get ready for AARP $2 Tuesdays at Wolf Stadium, presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Enjoy $2 tickets, beer, hot dogs, and more. Tonight, first pitch at 7:05 p.m. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at samissions.com.
Quiet down, here she comes. Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-351-4596. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596. 800-351-4596.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results vary. Consult with your tax professional prior to enrollment.
With Progressive Snapshot, you could save on auto insurance rates by driving safely, which is nice because you can just keep doing you. So keep on using that broken phone charger because it occasionally works. Keep quoting something you heard on a podcast as your own. Keep ignoring your sister's texts while you drive and after. And when baggage claim says, have a great trip, keep on saying, you too. And keep driving safely, and you could save with Snapshot from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents. Surcharge possible for unsafe driving.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
College football news today. The Big 12 is extending Commissioner Brett Yormark with a 3-year deal that will keep him with the conference through 2030. We've got some NBA playoff action tonight. The Cleveland Cavaliers are going to try and even up their series with the Indiana Pacers. They trail the Pacers 1-0. Tip-off from Cleveland set for 6 o'clock. That's followed by Game 1 of the Warriors-Timberwolves game from Minnesota at 8:30.
SportsCenter brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylowteam.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great one out there. Last time I checked, I think the sun was coming out. It was still a little cloudy when we got here, but I think it was coming out. If anybody could let me know that, it'd make my day.
It rained a little on my way to work around 11:30-ish.
Huh.
Yeah, got my car washed nice on Saturday. Can't tell.
No, you can't.
Yard needs to be mowed
Well, I don't know. According to my handy-dandy weather app.
Tell me, Bill Taylor.
I think that the rest of the week is going to be pretty nice and rain-free.
Oh, good. All right.
But that could change tomorrow.
Pledge just told me to hold for something. What are we holding for, Pledge?
I was just double-checking his handy-dandy weather app.
Uh-oh.
We got at least a 25% chance the next couple of days.
What do you know?
You don't know, Pledge.
Come on.
I'm a professional weatherman.
I know. I've seen you on TV.
Exactly. So
watch you every night.
According to, a lot of people do. It's funny how that works. A lot of people watch me every night. And I appreciate it, by the way. Thank you.
Bill Taylor appreciates it.
I'm sure he does.
They love you.
That guy.
The old ladies at Picks love him.
The old ladies everywhere love him.
This is true. Did I tell you about my good deed?
What?
Did I tell you about that?
You?
So, I'm working out at the gym.
Okay.
This was last week.
All right.
And this nice lady who was working with a trainer, and the trainer said she bought these stands where you put like umbrellas in. And she said they put them in my car, but they're like 100 pounds each.
Yeah.
She said, would any of y'all be able to help me get them out of my car and put them back on by the swimming pool? I said, sure, I'll help you do that. Not a problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I go to her house and take these things out. I carry them to the back and put them where she wants them. And she was very gracious. She said, can I pay you? I said, no, I don't want any money. So today, I get a text from Kale, who is her trainer, and there's a picture of a Fiesta wreath sitting there.
Oh, really?
And she said, that's from Lydia. And I'm like, okay.
What the hell are you going to do with that?
Well, apparently she makes these things.
Oh, okay.
But I was just and she said, well, she was trying to get it done before Fiesta was over. So I show this picture to Maggie. I said, Maggie, look, I went over and helped this lady, and it's Fiesta wreath. Oh, that's great. I've always wanted one of those.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, Fiesta's over. It doesn't matter. We'll have it for next year.
Will it last that long?
It's not real.
Oh, okay.
It's ribbons.
Oh, okay.
And plastic flowers.
Oh, perfect.
So Happy ending for everybody involved.
Poor choice of words. How old was this woman?
I hate to date the nice lady.
She's probably not listening.
She's probably 70s.
Okay. So she meets you at the gym.
Well, her trainer knows me and my brother and my wife and everybody. And so she was training her, and Kale comes over and says, "Can any of y'all help?"
Yeah.
Lydia?
So then you don't know this woman, yet you go to her house. You realize every bad horror movie or crime drama starts this way. Let's just go to some stranger's house and help.
Sure.
You're lucky you didn't get chopped up and put in the garden.
Well, dude, look, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice guy. Hey, I can't help it. I'm a nice dude. This lady needs help. I'm available to help her. Why not?
I've known you a long time. This whole story shocks me.
She was very sweet. And it's kind of like when somebody asks you to do that, and she's standing there with me. Nah, I can't. I'm not doing that.
I got something to do.
No, I didn't.
There's somewhere to go.
I thought, hey, it's my good deed for the day, and I'm happy to do it. So there you go.
I mean,
I got a Fiesta, whatever you call it, out of it.
Yeah, sure.
So there you go.
Your good feel-good deed of the day.
I do feel good about that.
You should.
And especially now, it's like I'd kind of forgotten about it, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a picture of this thing. I'll show it to you.
Yeah, good.
I know you want to see it.
I really don't give a damn about a Fiesta wreath.
Dude, I'm telling you, she makes these things. So, if you ever want one, I'd probably hook you up.
All of this sounds wonderful, but sounded like a bad idea. Like you show up and you move all those things, you do all that, and then she's like, "Now, Sonny, can you also do this and this and this and that?" I mean,
now you're stereotyping old ladies. Hey,
yes.
Sonny, come here and you want some iced tea?
I guess she didn't live far from where you were at.
No.
All right.
Well, she goes to the same gym.
Well, that doesn't mean anything.
Come on,
I mean,
dude.
she got all the time in the world. She can drive anywhere. She's retired.
Well, I asked her, I said, why didn't those guys take it to your house? She goes, I don't know. I should have paid them extra to do that. Look at that. It's beautiful. Now, y'all driving around, even on YouTube, you can't see this, so I'm sorry about that. It's a little private thing here, but isn't that beautiful?
Oh, yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah, so. When you come to the house next Fiesta, you'll see that.
She asked you to get something out of her padlocked basement, too?
No, never went inside the house.
I mean, does that not sound like the beginning of a Criminal Minds episode?
I never went inside the house.
It doesn't matter.
She even brought it like a little wagon so I could pull these things around to the back because she's a very nice pool.
Yeah.
And she just wanted, I guess, some pool umbrellas to stick in there. But these things are heavy.
Yeah. And
so
you did that all by yourself.
I did. And I was even trying to do it. There was no path. There was nothing but grass. It was hard as hell to pull that thing through the grass.
It's only 100 pounds. Why didn't you just lift it?
Well, there were two of them.
Well, make 2 trips.
Dude, what's the point of that? So I just carried it back there. It was a hell of a lot easier to do that than it was to put it on the.
And what's the liability when the wind comes through and one of those ends up through her kitchen window?
Well, there's no liability.
Okay, good.
I know you guys don't do good deeds. That's fine.
No,
you have to live with yourself. You got to look yourself in the mirror. That's fine.
I mean, I think Rolls hit ahead.
I can sleep like a baby tonight.
You found her on oligrands.com.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all make fun of me all you want.
Nobody's making fun of you.
Make fun of me all you want.
I'm
That's
proud
fine.
of you, sir.
I did a good deed for a
surprised.
lady in need.
I mean,
where's chivalry anymore?
Dude, if we were in the Boy Scouts, you'd earn a patch.
And I did. I got a Fiesta banner.
You did. It's a wreath.
A wreath.
Yes.
Whatever. That I didn't. I was like,
Yeah, you're thrilled.
Maggie was excited about it. So.
How excited was you when you said, I went to this old lady's house to help her with something? Because, again, every story starts that way.
She knows I'm a nice guy.
No, she knows who you are.
I'm a nice guy.
She was stunned.
It's all right. Y'all make fun of me all you want to. I don't care. I did a great deed. I feel good. I sleep like a baby. Sleep like a baby. You know, Alexandra on our YouTube page, I expected more out of you. I really did. I thought if anybody's going to have my back, it would be Alexandra. But no.
I know you're looking for some credit for whatever reason here, man. We got a leftover Fiesta medal if you want a little badge of honor
I'm not
you can
looking
wear.
for anything. I'm just telling you the story. Wasn't going to tell the story until I get a nice Fiesta wreath today.
Oh.
So I thought, well, hey.
Yeah, those are the kind of things that you do and you don't tell anybody. You just know you've done well.
I didn't tell anybody. When I did this last
you
week,
just told 120,000 people.
I didn't
because
mention
you
it all.
forgot.
I did.
You forgot until just now. You forgot until just now.
I feel great about myself, so it's all good.
I mean, she could have baked you cookies.
Well, maybe, but instead I got a Fiesta wreath.
Again, she could have done.
Now, going by your logic, why would I eat cookies from a lady I don't know? There's probably rat poison in them.
Well, she didn't kill you the first time, so
Well,
the cookies are probably fine.
It's an old lady. I think I could handle her. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I wasn't too worried about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I can handle it. Yeah, I'm fine.
How do we go from this story
Wow.
to the headline blitz that starts with a Diddy
is
story?
Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. Two guys, two opinions, never enough time.
TMZ, whoever wrote this Twitter headline, Diddy jury selection inches forward. Many rejected for a variety of reasons.
Inches forward. Baby oil and all. Oh, who the hell?
Right after your umbrella story with the old lady.
Who the hell approved that headline?
Oh, it's pretty funny.
Oh, my gosh.
Jury selection sees New Yorkers tossed left and right. That's the headline on TMZ.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
That's unbelievable. They did that on purpose. Right?
The first line of the article, Diddy's lawyers and prosecutors are making headway on putting together a jury pool, but it's slow going because there's so many landmines that are getting people tossed. Second day of jury selection is proceeding in Manhattan. Some are making it tough to get to the next round because of all the excuses.
Wow.
Yeah. Jury 149, one of many potential jurors who have been questioned, told the judge his son was beaten up and robbed while at George Washington University. He can't be on the jury.
What? What? Beaten up and robbed.
Yep.
Yep. Well, look, although this might be a very interesting jury to be on, it's probably going to take forever. I mean, your life is going to be, like, screwed for a long time.
Yeah.
Not sure I would want to do that.
Yeah, that TMZ article. Jury 180, she has bladder problems. She can't sit through a movie, let alone a trial. Take note, that one actually might work.
What are some of the lamest excuses you get out of jury duty? I've actually served on a jury before, and I was shocked because I was working TV at the time.
I've never actually served on a jury. I've wanted to. But the one time when I had jury selection, the lawyer, because you know how they go give you information ahead of, and are you objective? And I swear it was a awful child molestation case, and they asked me if I thought that the guy was guilty, and I turned to the prosecutor and said, I'm guessing you don't bring a case to trial that you can't win, so you have enough to prosecute this guy. So I'm assuming that you're confident you're going to win this thing, and so, yeah, he's probably guilty based on what we've heard. And I got dismissed.
Well, of course you did.
And I did follow the trial, and the guy was found innocent.
You would have hung him.
I was ready to hang him. After what I'd heard up to that point, I was ready to hang that dude, but he was actually found innocent.
Well, you can't say that.
Well, what do you mean I can't say that?
You're not supposed to say that.
Well, I'm not supposed to. I did. They said, "Do you already think he's guilty?" We're at trial. You don't come to these things to lose, right?
What? No, but you see, it's innocent until proven guilty.
Based on everything that I'd already heard, that guy was guilty.
Boy, you're gullible.
Yeah. Well,
I did one of those too. It was a mom accusing the dad of molesting a 3-year-old kid. I think kid was 4 or 5 at this point. Now you had a little doll where he said, "Did Daddy touch you here?" And the kid was like, "No." I mean, it was like, so we found the guy not guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it was just a mom trying to get a little revenge or something. I don't know. But it's awful that happens.
Really is.
Well, that's a great excuse, though. Next time I'm going to say the same thing. Well, you're the prosecutor. You obviously have enough evidence to come to court. Psh, he must be guilty. You can leave. Hallelujah.
It worked.
Yes.
It worked. Although, honest, I mean, I was interested, and I followed that trial, and that dude was found not guilty.
Not guilty. Well, it's a good thing you weren't on the jury.
Well, maybe he might be doing time right now.
Exactly.
I am curious because I didn't follow it close enough to know like what was presented later, but I find that stuff fascinating. But I don't know that I ever want to give up that much of my time to go sit on one of those.
Well, we should all do our civic duty.
Sure we should. Couple other quick things. We finally have a jersey number for Shedeur Sanders. It's taken a while. It looks like he's going to start with number 12.
You know why? Because of his mentor, Tom Brady.
Oh.
I didn't know that he was a mentor of
not Travis Hunter?
No.
Oh. Because that was available when the 5th-round guy finally got around to getting to him?
Well, I guess number 2 is number.
What, sir?
Number 2, it's not retired or anything, is it?
No.
I don't know why he didn't want number 2.
What did Dylan Gabriel end up going with?
I have no idea.
Because I did, but again, it was on one of those NFL meme Twitter things that Gabriel, because he was 3rd-round pick, got to pick first, and it took 2 just to piss him off. I don't know if that was true or not.
I think it's funny if it is.
I hope it is.
I mean, hey, it's the perks of being drafted first.
Exactly. Notre Dame Clemson, they agree on a 12-year college football scheduling partnership, and no chance at a Triple Crown. The Kentucky Derby winner will not run in the Preakness.
Good.
Dylan Gabriel went with number 5. Anybody go with 2? Huh. So 2 was available to him, and he didn't go that route.
Do we really give a damn what Shedeur Sanders' reasons are?
I mean, he's got the number 1 selling jersey for rookies.
Wow, there you go. Now it looks like Tom Brady's.
Well, that's his mentor.
Sure.
Tom Brady, who passed on him multiple times in the NFL draft.
Get ready for the Shedeur Sanders show when training camps start.
Man, I've been watching videos of him practicing.
I know it. Some dude named DeAndre Catter.
Where's 2?
I have no idea who that is.
I think is that Carter? It's Carter.
Carter.
Okay. Yeah, I know who Carter is. I'm like, who the hell is DeAndre Cater? Pledge typing up there.
Or Catter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure Shedeur could have paid for that.
I'm sure he could have.
If he wanted it.
But he's a fan of Tom Brady.
Incredible night in the NBA. Let's talk about it and preview tonight's action. Coming up here on the Blitz, here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. You know, nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast, you know the best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text the word bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what all those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service, They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7. Offices all over San Antonio and Texas. Services nationwide. Up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between. License number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds 210-225-2121 or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, fallout from Pop's promotion continues. We'll look at the future under Mitch.
Quote-unquote promotion. And we'll also take a look at the NBA playoffs as they roll on. It's the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
They told us nothing but lies.
These timeshare thieves out there are terrible.
They bullied us.
Our timeshare is all a scam.
They stole from us. They were thieves.
I was completely taken advantage of.
Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group, and I know the tough spot you're in. Are you asking yourself, why did I buy that timeshare? I'll tell you why, because that presentation wasn't a normal sales pitch. It was a show to convince you that timeshare is a great investment. They told you it was available today and today only. They said you're foolish if you don't buy, and unfortunately, you believed them. We get over 3,000 complaints a week from folks just like you that were misled into buying a timeshare. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884. 800-885-4884.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JO.
I'm A.J. Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. Join me and Rob Thompson tomorrow morning at 6, your early morning wake-up call on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Incredible night of basketball last night.
Yeah, it really was.
Great finishes to both games.
Yep.
It's what you want with good playoff basketball. Good playoff. I mean, first round of the playoffs, there were some dogs, as you might expect. But second round, from here on out, every night should be. I mean, there'll be a clunker in there along the way. There always is. But for the most part, these matchups are incredible. And so far, all the game ones have been great. All the game ones that we've had so far, all three of them, have gone to the road team.
That's incredible. And I don't know if the Warriors can make that a foursome tonight or not. But that's going to be a hell of a game, I think. I really do. I think Minnesota may be one of those teams that everybody just kind of overlooked. They may be a lot better than people are giving them credit for. It might be around late in this thing. So we'll see. Obviously, Golden State's going to be a tough out, but looking forward to it. Now, since Mitch Johnson was announced, I'm like, give a damn what Golden State does. The hell?
What do you mean?
Well, I kind of was hoping that Steve Kerr fellow might, find his way to San Antonio. Made sense.
A lot of it made sense. But I do find it interesting that the open jobs that have been filled have all gone to the interim guy.
That is funny.
And what you're seeing in Denver, that will end up being his job too.
Oh, absolutely.
It is interesting. And we were talking about this yesterday with Sean Elliott when he joined us on the Blitz. It was at 5:15, so if you're one that listens early and out later, you can go listen to what Sean had to say, and there was a lot of good stuff
really
in there.
Good stuff.
The audio vault powered by AA Best Bail Bonds at sasportstar.com. We talk about all the veteran coaches out there, yet we always bitch about retreads, right?
Yeah, true.
And then because we haven't had a coaching search here for 30 years, and I guess we still really haven't had a coaching search. Who knows what kind of search they had within their boardroom, how lengthy discussions were, especially if they thought Mitch was ready. And by all accounts from everything that we heard yesterday, they thought Mitch was ready. There was never a doubt. I don't know how much conversation there was about who else could they go get that they might think is better, right? But the reality is everybody seems to be going with the guy that's been there in the interim because you want that continuity to continue. So I'm with you as much as I wanted Steve Kerr. How different would things be if Steve Kerr were to come in or Mike Malone or anybody else?
Well, yeah. I mean, but look, even a Mike Malone is familiar with Pop, but this guy learned under Pop. Mitch Johnson, he learned under Pop. So look, I'm gonna give this guy every opportunity. I hope he succeeds beyond my wildest dreams. I really do. And he's such a nice guy. And after seeing that press conference yesterday and being there live, it was just it was a great experience. It really was. Just fortunate enough to be there. And Mitch Johnson has my full support. I hope he does very well. And I hope Brian Wright helps him out in that process by being very aggressive this offseason.
And we'll get into that coming up in a couple of minutes on what Spurs could do this offseason, because I sure as hell hope to, a year from today, to be talking about the Spurs in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that would be nice.
We've taken all the steps. And I look at a team like Minnesota. You mentioned how good Minnesota might be. Based off of last year's regular season, I expected them to be better during this regular season. And they weren't. It was almost like they took a step back until the playoffs started. What we saw from Minnesota in the first round, what I'm interested to see what they look like in the second round. We've seen Oklahoma take steps, but will they go to that next level? I think Oklahoma City goes and wins the championship this year. I got them in Boston in the finals and have had all year. But then last night, watching Denver, my goodness, Oklahoma City is beatable, but can Denver do that 3 more times in this series?
Well, that's a good question. I think they can. I don't think they will. I'm still thinking Oklahoma City will get out of this round. But you look at some of these teams that you don't think about. The Indiana Pacers, another team that is just playing great basketball at the right time, and they've got some talent there as well. This game's going to be good tonight because I want to see I heard a stat, actually read it this morning, that Draymond Green is already close to being suspended for a game, technical foul-wise. And so if I'm the coach of the Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm putting some dude on Draymond, or I'm telling my players, annoy the hell out of that guy. Piss him off because I want him teed up. I would. Why not? That'd be great strategy.
Steve Kerr gave us the blueprint last series. Get your crowd chanting F Draymond, and that will get under his skin.
Yeah.
I'm sure Minnesota would not do that. They're way too classy up there,
sure,
eh?
Yeah.
No, I mean, You can, because what is it? Seventh technical, he gets an automatic suspension. I think he's at 6 right now. And Draymond's a savvy veteran, but he will lose control. And you wonder how things go tonight for Golden State. And Minnesota's been resting. Golden State's coming off of a 7-game series. They punted one game pretty early just because Steve Kerr knew they had to rest their guys. We're not going to win this game, so we're not going to expend that energy. And it's not like they needed a whole lot of energy in Game 7 because Houston was just awful from the get-go in that game. So it'll be very interesting to see if Golden State has energy to play 4 quarters tonight. That's going to be the mark. You wonder, with that quick turnaround, their preparation for tonight's game on the road.
Well, look, they're a veteran team. They'll find a way to get it done. I don't think there's any question about it. I mean, this is a classic example. Although Minnesota was in the playoffs last year, but it's a classic example of the veterans against the young kids. And I know that was kind of that way with the Rockets as well. But I think Minnesota's a little more talented from top to bottom than Houston is, even though I think Houston's future is very, very bright, by the way. But I like this Minnesota team, and I like the way Ant is playing. And I don't know, even Rudy Gobert is playing better this year than he did last year, for goodness sake. He's playing better. So I like this team, and I think they're going to give Golden State a rough time.
I'm curious, Game 2 tonight between Cleveland and Indiana. The Pacers get Game 1. I want to say they're playing with house money, but they've stolen home court. Cleveland needs to get healthy, but I think everybody was a little stunned at Cleveland losing that game because, all the talk about could Cleveland be the one that gets to the finals and not Boston. And then they go out and they lose Game 1, although kind of like Minnesota. Is Indiana better than we've given them credit for all season long?
I think they are. And not to mention the fact that they're playing great basketball at the right time. And isn't that what it's all about? I remember the Spurs at a lot of times just get there. Get into the tournament and then start playing some ball. And if you can do that, you got a shot. Doesn't matter what seed you are.
That wise old coach Greg Popovich had once said, seeding doesn't matter.
That's exactly what he said. Just get in the tournament.
Wise old listener at Ben Bersino, too, tweets in, the Spurs didn't even have a search 30 years ago when Bob Hill was fired. Pop named himself. Good point.
That's true.
So when was the last time they had a search? Early 90s when Lucas was out and Bob Hill was in?
Jeez, I don't know. I wasn't even born then, Jason. I don't know what you're talking about.
Good point.
Daddy. I don't know where that came from.
Me neither.
Well, that's Daddy.
Oldest guy in the building. I don't know. 30 years ago. I think Joe's starting to lose his mind.
I'm not the oldest guy in the building.
You really are.
Am I really?
You really are. Well, actually,
Wow.
I guess Lance probably has you.
Well, there you go. And he's a wise old dude. He might be wild too. I don't know.
I'm trying to think. All right, so Ann's probably got you by a couple of years.
No, Ann does. Ann was here my first time around. How about that?
She was here for all of our first times
I
around.
guess so, yes.
I mean, she's been here a long time. But she doesn't act her age.
No, it's very nice.
I'm trying to think. So what are you, the third oldest person that works in this place?
I don't know. And what difference does it make? I look better than all of them. How about that?
You keep telling yourself that. Although you're not lying either. Son of a...
All right, dude, hurry up and go to your break.
What, do you got to pee?
I got to go potty.
That old man bladder kicking in.
It is.
Let's talk about what the Spurs' future could look like with their new head coach coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Injuries do happen, and when they do, you can skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, strains. They're conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday. On-site x-ray casting and bracing. Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, but best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. So if you're injured, get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic. Learn more online at tsaog.com. That's tsaog.com.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, fallout from Pop's promotion continues. We'll look at the future under Mitch.
Quote-unquote promotion. And we'll also take a look at the NBA playoffs as they roll on. It's the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
Carbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Carbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their best seller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Carbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Carbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Carbach.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
The Peace Lily is so last year. Hey, has anyone worked with fiddlenecks?
Shelby's popular flower shop is in full bloom.
We just got a request for an arrangement that evokes air. Who's up for that challenge? No?
She needs to hire a floral designer to nip foliage faux pas in the bud.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our advanced matching helps find talented candidates so you can connect with them fast. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Sometimes they see things on Twitter and just kind of laugh.
All the time.
Well, I can't read all of this tweet, but apparently a Pittsburgh Pirate fan, well, for whatever reason, got into the face of a PNC Park usher and spit on the usher, who then punched the jerk fan in the face and then pulled off his belt and whipped him.
I think that's great. That's a good way to solve that problem. You know, you never know who you're messing with, and that's the issue. You know, if you feel like you're all tough, maybe had a few drinks in you, and you just never know who you're messing with.
Yeah. The photos and video link are. That's the other thing. You know, anytime something's going on, somebody's whipping out their phone and hitting record on the video.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm. Then you look at that, and that guy's going to have, it wasn't my fault. The hell it's not. Look at the video.
Yeah. I think that's great. You want to give one of the ushers a hard time, he just might whip your butt.
Mm-hmm. Kind of crazy.
Yep.
Interesting article on ESPN.com today. Future of the San Antonio Spurs. You know, they have a new head coach in Mitch Johnson. Greg Popovich, president of basketball operations, El Jefe. But I am curious how different, if at all, things are going to be with the way the Spurs run things. And quite honestly, you could almost say, even if the stroke never happens and Pop is still the head coach, because the Spurs have been building for this offseason for the last several years. The foundation is set. They've got all the draft capital. They'll have money in free agency. They can create that, whether it's through acquiring free agents, making trades, but basically the Spurs can do whatever they really want this offseason. What are they going to do? So on an ESPN article where they're talking about different draft, this, that, the other, right? There's a line in here in this article. What we're hearing on the Spurs, San Antonio has designs on getting a healthy Victor to the playoffs next season, which means it will explore all avenues to improve its roster in the short term and will be involved in the free agent trade market for established talent.
Well, and that's great to hear, and I was happy to read this article, and I hope it's accurate, and they should. I mean, it's time. This is going to be Wemby's third year?
Yep.
It's time. You went out and got De'Aaron Fox. You've got a Stephon Castle who looks like he's a rising star, and you need to fill in and get some pieces. Not to mention the fact they're going to have 2 first-round draft picks. The question is, are they going to keep both of those draft picks? I think we'll know more after the draft lottery next Monday night, where those fall and what the position is. The Spurs, according to this, have 6% chance of landing the number 1 pick in next week's draft lottery.
And a 26% chance of being in the top 4. The Spurs lottery luck.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean,
it's been like no other.
It's incredible. Whether they end up at number 1 and could get Cooper Flag, who knows? But at the same time, it'll be very interesting to see how the Spurs handle this offseason, because we've all been around following this team long enough to where when you see all the different things about like a Giannis, you go, man, that sounds great. There's no way the Spurs would do it. When I read, we'll explore all avenues. Sure, they always kick rocks and, very, very aggressive in due diligence, but will there be action? Involved in free agent trade market for established talent. The idea that it's a new era in San Antonio. But how different are things going to be? And I wonder, even if Pop were healthy, what the plans were. Them making that midseason trade for De'Aaron Fox felt a little un-Spursian, like, did it not?
No, it did.
But it's the new attitude of we've got Wemby. They're going to go get people that make sense. Giannis, you could argue, does he make sense? Giannis commands the ball. Wemby commands the ball. Everybody that they bring in has got to fit around Wemby.
Well, they do, but if you're going to bring in a superstar like Giannis, you can't ask him to sit behind Wemby.
Which is why I'm asking, do they actually – it's fun to talk about, but is that a move they would actually make?
But still, when you look at that and you look at the makeup of some of these teams and some of the teams that have won, you can make that fit. Can you imagine the defensive nightmare that would be for the opposition? If you got to come in and game plan for Wemby and Giannis – I mean, my gosh, what are you going to do? And how are you going to handle that? I mean, that would be amazing. And I think they're both professional enough where that would work. And when you read this article, what excites me about this, it is to improve their roster in the short term. So a guy like Giannis could make sense. You like Kevin Durant. I don't. I think he's hurt all the time, and he's a coach killer. Ask Mike Budenholzer. And so I hope Kevin Durant stays far away from San Antonio. I don't want any part of him. But a Giannis or somebody like that, I think, I don't know if it would make sense or not. Would I like to see it? Absolutely.
Trying to think there's so many different moves. See, I'm complete opposite. I would love to see a Kevin Durant come in here. Kevin Durant at this point in his career, different than he was 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago. Veteran guy, professional guy, and he's that sharpshooter that this team needs. And knowing how he played in Golden State, and while for whatever reason it didn't work in Phoenix, seeing how he paired up with Devin Booker in Phoenix tells me that he could come in here and play the role that he would need to play, and that's not be the number one option. Wemby would still be, but that kick-out option would certainly be there. Now, that said, if they could swing a trade to get Devin Booker, that would be my first option, although all indications are Devin Booker's never going to leave Phoenix and doesn't want to leave Phoenix.
And the Spurs don't need a Devin Booker. They just don't. They need a big guy. They need somebody with some size that can help protect the rim. They don't have that. That Wemby's not going to do that. And you need somebody that's going to help him in the paint. Devin Booker is not there. And you got a De'Aaron Fox. And I'm not saying Fox is as good as Devin Booker. I'm not comparing the two. But you went out and traded for your point guard. You've got that. And so you need shooters. It's exactly what you need. I just don't trust Kevin Durant, first of all, to last 50 games. And second of all, you've got a rookie head coach that Kevin Durant's going to come in here and you're going to have to handle that. I think you're just asking for trouble.
Who do you guys want to see the Spurs go after? 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You can also comment on our YouTube channel. A Steven Adams reference in our YouTube chat. Steven Adams and Wemby? That'd be pretty scary.
Yeah.
And then it's mixed on Kevin Durant. Eloy says you're not asking KD to come in and be the number one. Just come in and shoot and play D. Tom Guerrero says, I agree with you, Joe. Kevin is bad juju. Joe's mom wants Bronny.
Well.
Bronny has earned that.
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I don't expect the Spurs to go out and get a superstar like a Durant or even a Giannis. But they need a big man. Whether they get that in the draft or not, or in free agency, they need a big man. And you need a shooter, somebody that can come in and shoot the basketball, because that's certainly what they've been lacking. And not to mention the fact they need some defense.
Well,
because they didn't know how to spell defense last year.
I mean, and all of that is true. I mean, the foundation is certainly set in San Antonio and how you're going to build. And just, Brian Wright's been around for a decade, right? Mitch Johnson has been around this organization for a decade. And as Mitch said yesterday, It's not a reboot. The book might look different because he's the coach, but everything is in place. So whatever they have been working for, talking about, I don't expect that to change, but will they be more aggressive in making the changes? Could there potentially be somebody in the G League that, has played well enough that's a part of their plans that we're not even thinking about at this point? At the same time, whatever they do, can you be conservatively aggressive, selectively aggressive, which for the Cowboys means cheap, but for the Spurs, you wonder, and even the way I read this article in ESPN, and this article written by Jeremy Wu, this portion of the article, improve the roster in the short term, which are they looking at some of the more veteran guys that are here for a year or two? Would Chris Paul come back in a backup role? I don't know that Chris Paul fits on this team as the starting point guard moving forward.
No, he doesn't. I mean, you've got your starting point guard in De'Aaron Fox. Yeah, why would you look for another point guard? Hey, if Chris Paul would come back and sit on the bench with Mitch Johnson, I'd love that. That'd be fantastic if he wants to do that. But if he still wants to play, I just don't think San Antonio's the place for him. Harrison Barnes still has another year on his contract, so he comes back. But there's going to have to be some decisions to make, and Barnes may be a casualty. Barnes may be a trade piece. Who knows what's going to happen? I just hope it's aggressive, and I hope we add some pieces to this puzzle that can get them over the top.
210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. Hey, Brandon, you're on the Blitz. Who do you want to see the Spurs go after?
There's only one name, and that name is Naz Reid from Minnesota.
Yeah.
All
Size, defense, and shooting.
Yep. Yeah, I can see that. I can see it. He's going to be available, is my understanding. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think it'd be a great piece to bring in here, a Naz Reid. And I've heard other people talk about Naz Reid, and it's a guy that's not a superstar that knows his role and knows, and that's exactly what the Spurs need. It kind of fits it all. Good call, Brandon.
Good call. Appreciate you, Brandon. And again, that's the kind of thinking where more along the lines of where I'm at. Guys that are going to come in and fit. It's fun to talk about Giannis and to think about what that could look like with Giannis and Wemby. But at the same time, one, it just feels so unlike anything San Antonio would do. And
it's very expensive.
And it's very, but also, as dumb as this sounds, do Giannis and Wemby fit together, right? Because they are both so ball dominant, right? Could they make it work? Could Mitch make it work? Sure. I think we'd all love to see that work, but in reality, would it actually work?
I would like to see a big man. If it's a Naz Reid, that's great, and a wing that can shoot. And right now, Devin Vassell was supposed to be that guy. He's just not consistent enough to be that guy. And so a wing and a big man, I think if you do that with what they've got right now, I think that's money.
A Miles Turner reference on the chat. A lot of people seem to be jumping on Naz Reid, except Eloy's going to play wet blanket. Twitter fantasy, he isn't leaving Minnesota. And you got to factor that in too, is how happy is he in the situation that he is in. Cam Johnson, names like that. One, you kind of figure price range wise, they're going to be where the Spurs would want to spend, but they all seem like guys that would fit in at San Antonio. And we saw yesterday on full display Spurs family, Spurs culture. And it is so real. Now, you guys have been Spurs fans forever, and so you hear that and know that. Joe and I, because of our jobs, we get a little bit more access than most fans, but not even then. It's at a distance because they don't let anybody in, right? But it was on full display at that press conference yesterday. And so when you talk about being a culture fit in San Antonio, that is so real, and it was so evident yesterday. So, you you got to look more than just what does the guy do on the basketball court. You really do.
Absolutely. And I don't know that much about Naz Reid off the court and what kind of guy he is. I mean, I've never heard him get in any trouble or anything like that. Now, I'm just looking at his contract, his current contract. He is it's his option for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So where Eloy says he may not want to leave Minnesota, maybe Minnesota reworks his contract and keeps him around. He's a young guy, which would be a perfect fit as far as I'm concerned here in San Antonio. I would like young players so he could build this team and get it going and make Wemby feel a part of that, because keep in mind, he's going into his third year.
Yep.
All right? There is a deadline to get this train moving, and I think that's why the Spurs are moving with such, I don't want to say desperation, but with urgency, certainly, to get this thing going and moving in the right direction, because you want to keep that big fella happy.
Well, and another YouTube question. Again, you can comment on the YouTube channel, Twitter at Joe Reinagle 210, tweet at me at Jason Minix. Do you think they make another run at Lauri Markkanen? I don't. James has dreams about that every night, and he wakes up looking for a towel every time. I don't know with his contract if that's even a possibility this offseason. Doesn't he have to wait like 6 months or something along that?
He does.
It was the day after the trade deadline that he was eligible to be moved again. So this offseason, technically, he could be moved.
Okay. I mean, it seems like a guy the Spurs have targeted for many, many years. Do they still covet it? Is that a guy they still have that same interest in? With the other moves, I would like to think he would still fit, but in their mind, does he?
Well, you got to look at Lauri Markkanen's contract, and I'm looking at it right now.
No, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. He's going to make north of $46 million next year. Same in 26-27, $49 million in 27-28, and then $53 million to finish things out in 28-29. So he may that train may have sailed, or that boat may have, whatever the hell. You know what I'm talking about. That might be gone. And so I'm not sure Markkanen is the guy. Because, look, Spurs still have to reach an agreement with De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
Right? So you're going to have to pay him. Wemby's going to come up. You know they're going to offer him a max deal when the time comes. So if you got a Lauri Markkanen making $50 million on your roster already, that could play havoc with what you're trying to do. So that ship may have sailed, honestly.
Yeah, and, there's another run at Trae Young, says Joshua Jimenez.
No.
I don't see that happening.
We don't need that.
We don't need it. But if they were going to go some way that route, I don't know. Somehow I kind of wonder if DeJounte Murray could be in the plans to come back.
Well,
it
could be.
I don't see that as a fit right now, a big need. But I would think if they're thinking about Trae Young, they would actually probably think about DeJounte. Because that was interesting yesterday that he was there for Mitch Johnson.
Well, he credits him for saving his childhood, basically, keeping him out of trouble. Yeah, that'd be great, but look at what DeJounte's done since he left. He's been hurt an awful lot.
Yeah.
He really has. And so I'm just not sure that's
Spurs have better trainers.
Shooter, and big guy. That should be the focus for this year. A rim protector, guy that can play defense, and a guy that can light it up from the three-point stripe. That's what this team needs.
If you got a phone line, stay there. We'll take your calls coming up here on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're riding with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
At the Home Depot, we know Mother's Day is a big deal. So what are you working on for Mom this year? With a little help from the Home Depot, you can help create a space just for her. We have a wide variety of patio sets and outdoor furniture that will make the perfect gift for Mom. Just add a few hanging baskets for a pop of color and texture for the perfect finishing touch. Shop outdoor furniture, flowers, gifts, and more for Mother's Day. In-store and online at the Home Depot.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection, one that helps better their everyday through the things they value most: friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
This is a special notice to U.S. taxpayers owing $10,000 or more to the IRS. Tax Relief Advocates is urgently notifying taxpayers that tax relief initiatives are now available that may significantly reduce or eliminate what you owe. If you're afraid of an IRS lien, levy, or wage garnishment, don't lose hope. You can now take advantage of these current relief programs to end all collections, reduce the amount you owe, and resolve your tax problem. Even if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are already in a payment plan, you may still qualify for significant relief. Struggling taxpayers can now get relief they need during these hard economic times. A hotline has been established by Tax Relief Advocates for you to call and see what you qualify for. They are A+ rated with the BBB and have over 1,000 5-star reviews. Don't wait. Call 800-575-7147. 800-575-7147. That's 800-575-7147 or simply visit TRA.com.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team: Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Joel, I'm proud to introduce my latest in-summer relaxation relief occasion. I call it the Quarter Moon Grill and Go. It's a stainless steel propane gas grill with this, a full-size urinal. If you're gonna grill and you gotta go, it's the Grill and Go.
Folks, at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we fix plumbing and AC issues fast and at a fair price. 210-651-5899.
Grill and
go away, Nigel. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC.
License number TACLA 141074E M16004.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, another member of the Pop Tree getting some accolades today. Oklahoma City General Manager Sam Presti has been named as the NBA Executive of the Year. That's his reward for building that team into a juggernaut that won a league-best 68 games this season. Well, the Cavs try to even up their series with the Pacers tonight. They trail 1-0. Tip-off in Cleveland set for 6 o'clock, followed by Game 1 of the Warriors-Timberwolves at 8:30.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix on what appears to be a beautiful day in South Texas.
Well, it is. When I made my way to the men's room, looked out the window, and it's gorgeous.
I'm glad you finished that sentence.
It's gorgeous outside.
We're in a windowless studio.
We are. So we rely on all of you, whether you're driving around, watching on YouTube, or whatever. Let us know. Well, Ben did. He said it was beautiful. Took a nice picture.
It did. It was raining on my way in, which is good. I'm ready for the rain to go away for a while.
Me too.
wash the car and keep it clean for more than
Although
2
I'm,
days.
I'm sure they'll tell us no rain. Well, we need rain. And a drought.
We always need rain.
I know it. A little sunshine would be nice.
Well, why can't we schedule the rain like you do your sprinkler system, like at 5 a.m. when everybody's asleep?
That'd be nice. That would be cool. Can't do that, though.
Why not? You're the weather guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Wish we could. I'm all in because, anytime it rains overnight, I'm happy. That's good. Nice rain, sun comes out. Perfect.
Don't interfere with anything you're doing. But
exactly.
I see you're going to say, oh, yeah, all this rain we've had, and they're still going to say we need rain.
Well, they are.
Yeah,
They will.
It's almost lake season, so all of us that have friends with boats, or you try to make friends with boats, if you're the rare dude that actually owns the boat, you understand lake levels are low. We were in Austin the other day and went and ate at that Oasis restaurant there at Lake Travis.
Oh, yeah?
Beautiful. I couldn't believe how low
it's low.
That lake was.
I've heard Pledge can attest to this, I would think. Canyon Lake's a little low, too.
It's way more than a little.
Yeah, and then
forget Medina Lake.
Medina Lake is just a pond.
It's been over 30 years.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess we do need a lot more rain. I get it. But, look, I can't make it rain or make it stop. So
you keep washing your car. You're doing your part.
Really nothing I can do about it. So it'd be nice to see a little sunshine, though.
Yeah. Always ready for sunshine.
Yes, sir.
Lots of it. I guess. I don't know. Spurs wish list. Guys that you want. We were talking during the commercial break, Joe and I. Because we all know we need another big. But, the idea of Giannis ball dominant. They need to go find whatever the current version is of like Fab or Rasho. One of those guys, impact dudes, take the pressure off of Wemby and just, be that bring your lunch pail kind of guy. That's the kind of big the Spurs needed alongside Wemby.
A Naz Reid would be perfect. So that suggestion, look, it would be great if Naz Reid would make his way to San Antonio. I would throw this out there, and I'm usually not one to bring up old guys, but I think he would be perfect. I love the way he played. Brook Lopez. Bring him in. He can shoot the three.
Available?
He can't. He will be a free agent, yes. I don't know, and I'm not sure how old he is, but he always seems to play hard, and it would be that guy like you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just that guy that's a role player more so than anything. So, look, we'll see. We're going to go through this a lot between now and obviously the draft and into the offseason. But just going over the list of free agents, there's a lot of old guys that are going to be free agents. And I'm talking about, guys like Kyrie Irving and, guys like LeBron James, for example. A guy like James Harden. James Harden. Yeah, I don't want any part of James Harden.
I was going to say, are you just trying to piss yourself off by throwing out those names?
The guy can he's a great regular season guy, but he sucks in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
We weren't talking Dak, were we?
No.
Oh, it was James Harden. I forgot. I had a brain thing going. Go ahead.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Philip, you're on the Blitz. Who do you want the Spurs to target?
I think obviously the most popular name is Giannis, but I think for me the name that nobody's really talking about with the mess that the team is in is Jaren Jackson Jr. from Memphis. I think that team's a dumbfire. John Morant's pretty much on his way out, and if I'm not mistaken, Jaren Jackson will be playing on his last year next year. So I think the Spurs, it would benefit them to make a quick call and see what that costs, especially if it's cheaper. And he could stretch the three. Was it defensive player of the year? He's a great candidate for the Spurs. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that.
I mean, first glance, there's a long list of names, and he would be on it that you would think the Spurs would target. And that's the beauty of the fun we get to do right now. We're throwing all the spaghetti against the wall. That one wouldn't be bad, and the fact that he's got family ties to the organization. His dad's still not over at UIW, right? They changed all that out, right?
Here's the problem with Jaren Jackson and why he may not want to leave Memphis. he's eligible for a max contract this summer.
Yeah.
So, and if he left, well, he wouldn't get as much there. He's eligible, it says here, for a 5-year, $345 million extension.
Yeah, that's pretty good cash.
Yeah, that's not bad. So while great player, I just don't think Memphis is going to let him get away. Maybe they do. They're not Dallas, but I'm just saying, I think if it's up to Jaren Jackson and Memphis wants to play ball, he's going to stay right there.
And there's some things going on in Memphis that you wonder how much of a dumpster fire it really is. You know, they made the interim coach the head coach. There's a reason they got rid of Taylor Jenkins. My buddy that lives there says that they seem to be doing everything to keep the fan base at peace right now because, you know, as we deal with here in San Antonio, they're dealing in Memphis. Are they actually going to try to move to Nashville? And so it will be interesting to see what Memphis does, both with what's going on with any possible relocation and how real are those rumors, the threat of that, and at the same time trying to keep this team together because being in a small market, and that is a small market when you look at it, the threat of going to Nashville where all the money is and all the new shiny stuff is, if they can try to keep this thing together, which is, he was telling me, seems to be one of the reasons why Taylor Jenkins was let go, because players were unhappy being coached hard, and all of them were like, as soon as I can get out, I'm going to get out, and they're trying to do everything they can to keep them there.
Absolutely, right? I mean, it's going to be a crazy summer. I'm just happy to read reports like we read earlier from what is this, ESPN?
Yes.
And they're hearing the Spurs are going to be aggressive. A lot of good comments on the YouTube page, and we appreciate the phone calls as well.
Well, no, they're not all good.
Well, Miles Turner, I don't know. Maybe that's not a bad play. John Collins, gosh, John Collins has been rumored to come to the Spurs forever. I'm not sure if that would work out or not. But look, I don't. Just looking at it right now, I don't look for the Spurs to go out and get a big money guy. So I think some of these names that we're throwing out here that you don't have to pay a fortune for, because, again, you're going to have to pay De'Aaron Fox, and Wemby's coming around the corner. So you got to look at all this and take it into consideration. I think the Spurs, man, especially during their dynasty run, were really good at finding the role players that fit in perfectly. Robert Horry was perfect, right?
Steve Kerr at the time.
Steve Kerr at the time. Mario Ellie was another guy that was huge. And so even a Pau Gasol, for goodness sake, coming in. So
well, and when you go back and you look through, because they were just so established, and they, you know, whether it was the Steve Smith that would come in at times, like the only one that didn't work was Richard Jefferson, and
he hated it here.
He hated it, but at the same time, because of his salary, he never lived up to expectation. If he was making half of that, he would have been fine. You look at the Brent Berries of the world; those are, yeah, and I think we need a mix of guys like that. You know, older veteran guys that aren't here for a long time, but then guys that you could actually build around and go. And, Monday night will tell us a lot. Monday is the draft lottery. The Blitz will be live out at the Rue Pub at 281 and Redland Road. And after we see where the Spurs are picking, could they be in the top 4? They got a 26% chance of that happening. They got two chances of getting up there. Well, we'll see. And then do they actually keep that pick? I mean, obviously, if it's Cooper Flagg, you're doing it. But if they're at 5 or 6, are they packaging? Are they moving out future first-round picks? Because I want to believe that their own first-round picks years to come are not going to be anywhere near the lottery. This might be their last chance to have a lottery team, and let's pray to the basketball gods that is the case, that we're done dealing and worrying about when is the draft lottery. Because next year, if they're a playoff team, playoff teams don't give a damn about Monday because it doesn't matter to them.
No, they don't care. Look, I hope so too. And look, you're right. It's all going to depend on where they fall on Monday night and where those picks are and how they want to use them and what they think of the draft, what they think of the talent in the draft. So we'll see. Do they get a couple of young guys and bring them in and hope that they can play right away, or do they trade one of those picks away and get a veteran? It's going to be a lot of fun, but you're right. It all begins Monday night at the Roo Pub, as it did in the Wemby era as well.
Yeah, good times. Monday, Roo Pub, 281 and Redland Road. You know, Ryan Nagel can't talk anything without bringing up the Cowboys, because the Cowboys, good, bad, indifferent, always a part of the conversation. Yet one national media guy says they've turned into Tupperware.
Tupperware.
We'll explain coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Well, let me tell you about something that always performs well in the clutch, unlike Dak Prescott. Connecticut, the quality water softeners. And Connecticut Quality Water Softeners of San Antonio, they are the best in the business. I've got one in my house, and it is just fantastic. I can't even tell you how much better it is than anything else I have ever had. Connecticut is the absolute best. It's made right here in America. They've been serving San Antonio for over 50 years. People love it when they have a Connecticut quality water softener in their house. You should treat yourself if you don't. And right now, it's a perfect opportunity to do that. The fine folks at Connecticut, well, they're going to give you a free reverse osmosis drinking station that they will install right there at your kitchen sink. It's like having bottled water right there at your kitchen sink. It is fantastic. They'll give you $400 for your old water softener, and they're going to give you some free money. 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Look, this is a great deal. If you've been thinking about a new water softener, or you don't have one and you want one, do the absolute best. Don't settle for anything less than the best. That is a Connecticut quality water softener. Give them a call, 656-PURE, 656-7873, or you can get them online at ConnecticutSA.com. And you know the jingle, sing it with me. It's the last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE. Connecticut.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. You can with Orchard. Jason Minix here from 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Orchard puts cash right into your pocket so you can buy your dream home. Then your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. And here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free to sell your home. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday 1. You buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Boom, payday 2. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL. That's 1-844-421-SELL. 1-844-421-SELL.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, fallout from Pop's promotion continues. We'll look at the future under Mitch.
Quote-unquote promotion. And we'll also take a look at the NBA playoffs as they roll on. It's the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is The Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Maybe you're watching on YouTube. You can always do that. Watch us. Just go find the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe. Go from there. What?
This thing's acting up a little bit over here in my headphones. And so I was like messing with it, and I turned it up really loud and went, bah, and it blew my ears out. Did you say something?
Huh?
What?
Yeah. So, what do you got, a short in your headphones?
No, I don't think the headphones have anything to do with it. I think it's this. I need to call, I don't think Greg Shelton's here. Jalen?
What's his name?
I don't know. I'm horrible with names, dude. The Domer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jalen. Maybe his name is Halen.
Halen. I knew it was something, Lynn.
Last name Jolly.
I knew it was something, Lynn.
Yeah. Something, Lynn.
Jalen, Halen. I don't know what's going on. It could be this thing. See this thing right here? If you're watching on YouTube, you can see what I'm talking about. It's called an extender? Adapter?
That's not an extender.
Because my headphones it's a short little one.
Do you want to try?
There is a spot for that.
Try this one.
Wait, there is a spot for this.
Try
hold
this
on,
one.
Hold on.
Good Lord.
If I can find it.
What are you looking for?
The hole.
Did it fit?
It fits, and it works.
Does it work?
It does. So I guess that's going to, because this thing like comes apart.
Here.
Is this a gift?
Yes.
Well, thanks, Jason.
You're welcome.
Wow. A gift from Jason Minix. Yeah, this one's about had it. Okay, that's enough behind the scenes stuff. You ready to continue? You good?
Are you?
Yeah.
All
I
right,
think
here
so
we go.
now.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Because no matter what we're talking about, Joe Reiniger will always somehow bring up Dak Prescott, especially if we're talking about somebody's playoff failures.
Yes.
It'll be an entire segment on potential Spurs, but somehow Dak Prescott comes into the conversation with Joe Reiniger.
Well, it's a perfect example of that.
What's that?
Failing in the playoffs.
Sure.
Yeah.
NFL Network, Kyle Brandt, commentary part of his show, whatever the reason is, he was asked his thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys. This is interesting because he went on for damn near 2 minutes about how there's nothing to talk about with the Dallas Cowboys.
The 2025 Cowboys have me feeling nothing. Nothing. And let me explain why. They are by far the least interesting team in their division. By far. 4th out of 4. And I don't know if that's ever been true in my entire life. Even the Dave Campo era had more sizzle than this team does. Wow. Even smaller market teams right now are headlights and neon compared to America's team. The Titans are way more interesting. The Jaguars are way more interesting. The Dallas Cowboys coaching hire was not a bold choice. It was sensible. The Dallas Cowboys first-round draft pick was not a bold choice. It was practical. The not paying Micah storyline is a rerun of an episode we've seen 10 times from this team. The quarterback is the quarterback. He'll be very good, not great, say the right things, and get paid, and we'll do it again next year. The most interesting thing that has happened in the last calendar year for the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't even think it's close, is the owner's breathtaking cameo in a television show called Landman, which was beautiful, amazing, and really sad that that was the most dynamic thing we've seen. they are currently like the Tupperware of teams. It's just something you have. You don't think about it. You don't care about it. You put the spaghetti in, you put it in the fridge. You have no attachment to it at all. It just serves a practical need of being one of the teams in the NFC East. I think the Cowboys fans themselves are passing the time grumbling about number 2 receivers, cursing Jaden Daniels, hoping Jackson Dart isn't as good as he is, and praying that the Eagles are gentle this year because they weren't last year. Don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not feeling anything negative about the Cowboys. I just feel numb. I feel nothing. And I dare you to find me you feel anything at all.
Well, here's what I would ask Kyle Brandt on that. And I get where he's coming from because we are having the same conversation for the 3rd year in a row when it comes to contracts. And when is Micah Parsons going to sign? Last year it was CeeDee Lamb. The year before that it was Dak Prescott. When's it going to happen? When's Jerry going to get it done? So in that respect, yes, it's the same old song and dance. Still looking for a number 2 wide receiver. But I challenge Kyle Brandt to mark down every time the NFL Network has a story or leads their broadcast with a Dallas Cowboys story. It happens everywhere, whether it's the NFL Network, ESPN, Fox, name one. The Cowboys are always news.
You know, the reality is, and you're not wrong, and I don't think neither he is, but we all have to have our Tupperware. We all need our Tupperware. The NFL Network needs its Tupperware with the Dallas Cowboy logo right on it. What I find interesting is everything that he bitched about, boring. Dave Campo's teams had more sizzle. Dak is going to be good, not great. Always great in the regular season, just not in the playoffs. We know that. All of the boring, isn't that the same kind of stuff that you used to complain about with the Cowboys? It was more about the circus and the show than about winning. When are they going to get serious about winning and actually do something? Why does everything always have to be the spotlight guy? You know, Jerry can't pass up the shiny object. Remember, he wanted Johnny Manziel, and Steven put him against the wall. You know, they take an offensive lineman, probably the right guy, but it wasn't as sexy. You know, for so many years, a lot of the national guys always complained that the Dallas Cowboys didn't do enough winning. It was all about sexy and grabbing headlines and not serious football stuff. Now they're doing serious football stuff, sensible things, his words, and you call them Tupperware and boring.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And look, he just needed something to say about the Cowboys. You know, because, again, that's what you need to do. You want to make something interesting on any show, including this one. You talk Dallas Cowboys football. It's just the way that it is, and that's what he was doing. So if they're Tupperware, why are you bringing them up? I mean, it's like, well, they're boring. Then why are you boring your audience with a bunch of Tupperware?
And again, are they boring? You know, there's always something to talk about. I'm not going to pick on the Houston Texans, but I am. That is a team that is typically boring. Now, they're getting more exciting, and they have been since DeMeco Ryans took over and C.J. Stroud is a quarterback and Will Anderson. But for a long time, they were kind of boring. There was nothing to talk about. You know, in the sports world, you either want to be really good or really bad. The last thing you want to be is mediocre. Because when you're mediocre, there's nothing to celebrate, nothing to bitch about. You know, you're just kind of right there in the middle. The Cowboys are the one exception to that rule. They can go 8-8 for 3 years, ask Jason Garrett, and still be talked about ad nauseum.
You're exactly right.
Other teams that are 5, 6, 7-win teams, 8-win teams, they get zero run on a national level because they're kind of boring. You know, if you've got a popular quarterback, certainly that is going to help, whether he's good, whether he's bad, somebody to talk about. You look at a Joe Burrow, certainly not boring, always has something to say. That team used to be boring, but they've got the right players there. Now they're not. They don't have the history. We talk about the drought, and that's because the expectation is the Cowboys should always be better. Why? Because they're always talked about, even though they're Tupperware. There's a lot of franchises out there that have never been to a Super Bowl or a conference championship game that are coming up on, I don't know, almost 30 years that they've been around. Houston.
Wow. So about the same amount of time as the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just curious. So, look, having said all of that, and everything that we've talked about is absolutely true, but you're still talking about the Cowboys. And Dallas Cowboys fans can thank Jerry Jones for that.
Mm-hmm.
He is a master at publicity. He does it better than anybody else. And he's going to say something, he's going to do something that's going to cause us all to talk about him. And he does that brilliantly. And the Cowboys, whether they're going to be good this year or not, who knows? The division's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough. Washington's going to be good. Philly's going to be good. I think the Giants are going to be better. It's going to be a tough division. So I don't know what the Cowboys are going to do this year. It remains to be seen. But I guarantee you, regardless, they're going to be talked about more than the Eagles or the Command Skins or the Giants.
Well, because you're always reaching for your Tupperware. That's the bottom line. I mean, the reality is, and Kyle Brandt clearly doesn't have the pulse of Cowboy fans, because I don't know who's cursing Jaden Daniels. Comments on the Eagles, maybe. Anybody worried that Jackson Dart's going to – I mean, I'm not worried about Jackson Dart for a while. He may or may not be. I'm worried about their defensive line. It is interesting, though, that guys on the national level, and I don't know what Kyle Brandt has said about the Cowboys in the past to go pull up an example, but national media types, local media types, for many, many years used to complain that the Dallas Cowboys did not care about winning. They cared about headlines. That, Steven has said it on this show many times. They're talking about us, good, bad, or indifferent. They're talking about us. But their football decision-making seemed more about headlines than putting together a winning team. Now their draft, while it's not what I would have done, because I wanted more weapons and, explosive options for Dak Prescott, they're building the offensive line. They got another edge rusher. Their draft, at least as we sit a couple weeks after, was a hell of a draft. Not at all what I thought the Cowboys needed or would do because of Jerry's reputation of trying to get splash. He's gone conservative the last couple of years, or safe, or whatever word you want to use.
Look, the offensive line's important, and I think they got a good one there. Granted, by all accounts, it would have been McMillan at that pick had he fallen to the Cowboys. They weren't going to go up and get him, but if he would have fallen, they would have taken the wide receiver, and I think we'd be having a different discussion right now. Instead, they stayed true to their board, and they went and got a damn good offensive lineman, and their offensive line should be pretty solid. At least on paper, it looks pretty solid, so we'll see what happens. They still need to go out and find another wide receiver because, well, quite frankly, what they have right now just doesn't look so good. So will they address that? Time will tell, and we'll see. But I find it fascinating that when a guy's trying to tell you the Cowboys are boring, guess who he's talking about? The Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
That's the way it goes.
And man, a lot of Cowboy fans just kind of wish they'd be boring and go win football games. and the pressure is on Dak Prescott and Schottenheimer to go get that done.
As long as Jerry's there, the Cowboys are not going to be boring, ever.
No.
They won't be.
No. I wonder, last year, I think Cowboy fans hit a level of disappointment that in 30 years we hadn't hit because of that loss to Green Bay. And Jerry was angry. The offseason was weird.
Yep.
And then last year, training camp was weird. We talked about that
it
then.
Was.
Going at last offseason was just weird, numb, using Kyle Brandt's word. If this was a year ago, I'd say, yeah, you're spot on, dude. This year, it feels like there is a little bit more excitement coming back for what could be. The challenges certainly are going to be there, and I don't hear a lot of Cowboy fans like we did 5 years ago, no matter what, Super Bowl. I think we've all been jaded well enough to know that don't set your expectations too high. Just give us a damn playoff win, Dak Prescott. But in reality, they are far from boring in the sense of nobody's talking about them. I don't know. Kyle, I challenge you. If you were doing that segment on, I don't know, the New Orleans Saints, you could have talked for 12 seconds. But with the Cowboys, you went 2 whole minutes.
He did, and he got his point across that the Cowboys are Tupperware, except they're still interesting to talk about.
But everybody needs Tupperware. Everybody has Tupperware. Everybody has their favorite Tupperware dish.
I just find it fascinating that, we're still talking about the Cowboys, even though they're boring and Tupperware.
Nothing to talk about.
Yeah, nothing to talk about except you find something to talk about so you can say Dallas Cowboys and you're good.
And if you talk Cowboys and say they're boring, you're going to get a lot of clicks, a lot of views, because they are far from. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Let's talk about the NBA playoffs tonight. Got a game 1 between Golden State and Minnesota. Pacers looking to go 2-0 on at Cleveland. We'll get into all of it coming up here on the Blitz. Now, you think about those games tonight, you want to make them more exciting. Make sure you're playing the Pick'em game at Underdog. They score buckets. You could score cash on Underdog. Underdog is a leading place to make all your sports picks, and you can play in Texas. One of the best sports apps out there with over 100,000 5-star reviews. Download the app and start playing the Pick'em game, where all you have to choose or do is go higher or lower on predicted stats. It is that easy, and you can play for as little as $1. Download the Underdog app. Use my promo code STAR when you sign up to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Again, promo code STAR at Underdog. Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, fallout from Pop's promotion continues. We'll look at the future under Mitch.
Quote-unquote promotion. And we'll also take a look at the NBA playoffs as they roll on. It's the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
DQ presents How to Hit Summer's Sweet Spot. The new DQ Summer Blizzard Treat menu is here. And as the official treat of MLB, we're swinging big with our fan-favorite S'mores Blizzard Treat. Plus, new mixing bowl mashup with brownie batter and chocolate chip cookie dough. And even more in our Stack Summer lineup. Hurry in today, because nothing says summer like baseball and our new Summer Blizzard Treat menu. Right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
George gets justice. The accident wasn't your fault, but now you're facing pain, bills, and uncertainty. You don't have to do it alone at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. They listen, explain your options, and fight for what you deserve. No upfront costs, no stress, just real help when you need it. If you've been injured, it's time to get George. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
Get ready for Camping World's Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th. Get the highest value for your RV guaranteed during the biggest RV trade event of the year. Shop the best RV deals in America with new RVs starting as low as $92 a month. Get ready for the holiday weekend with up to 45% off grills and 25% off product installation. Plus, we'll have free hats, free propane refills, free food, and fun for the whole family. Don't miss the incredible Red, White, and New Trade event, May 15th through the 18th at your local Camping World.
See with the full details and disclaimer.
Missions fans, get ready for AARP $2 Tuesdays at Wolf Stadium, presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Enjoy $2 tickets, beer, hot dogs, and more. Tonight, first pitch at 7:05 p.m. Don't miss out. Get your tickets now at samissions.com.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix.
Howdy.
Howdy, howdy. You know, about 24 hours from right now, we expect to talk with Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips.
Wade Phillips.
Yeah.
Obviously, we know he took the leave of absence. But I'm told that it likely will be Wade tomorrow.
How about that? It'd be good to talk to Wade.
You know, after yesterday, seeing and hearing from Greg Popovich, I think for all Spurs fans, we needed that.
Yeah, I think so.
We needed that. All the different reactions to it, from sad to encouraging, whatever. Pop didn't have to do that. Took a lot of courage, I think, for Pop to do that, but he also knew Spurs fans needed that. Mitch Johnson needed that. Quite frankly, I needed that, and I didn't know I needed that, but I did, right? That's what I took away from it. I don't know how much that factors into when I was talking with the Brahmas about tomorrow. Wade, it was like, you guys want Wade tomorrow? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Peyton Pardee is doing some invite-only coaching clinic with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he's actually in Tampa. I think we might get both of them, but one or the other. And I thought, well, that'd be cool. Wade's feeling good enough to do this, huh? Because the team is.
Yeah, if I'm Wade, I might not. I'd fake it and not come back this year. Just saying, go ahead, Peyton. You take this from here. I'm just going to sit this one out.
Catching up and making sure he's all right. And I think hearing from Wade Phillips is always good in that regard.
Yeah, no doubt. It'll be good to hear from Wade. And it sounds like he's recovering well from whatever it was that was ailing him. So I'm happy about that. It'll be good to talk to him. So
speaking of,
you're right though. I just real quick, that Pop thing yesterday. That was, and I can't stress it enough. And you know, I hear other people just kind of let it go, but it was a really touching, special moment. And I don't think if you were there, I think it hits you differently than if you weren't. I really believe that.
The being in the room, certainly, but there were so few of us that were in the room. But just seeing the reaction online from the video, the clear effects of the stroke and what it can do. And if you've been around somebody that suffered a stroke, you understand that. The idea that he talks about the progress that he has made. Every day is the healthiest he has been since the stroke. But that also makes you wonder, man, how bad was it 2 or 3 months ago?
It had to have been bad.
And it had to have been. We hear the words Spurs family in their culture. Yesterday we saw it. I mean, the visual of seeing it, and again, we saw it in person, and I can tell you, I know we talked about this some yesterday. I had no idea Pop was in the building. I assumed he was not. I was surprised he was there. You know, they all start walking through, and there's Pop. And quite honestly, we talked to Sean Elliott yesterday. I had to ask Sean, were you there? I didn't see Sean.
I didn't see him either.
I see him in my video. I didn't see him. I was just so focused on Pop. I couldn't tell you what Peter J. Holt said because I was looking at Pop. And then when Pop got up to talk, it was stunning. I mean, just and again, some people say, "Oh, he's sad," or that, Sure, because nobody wants to see somebody struggle. But I also look at the courage and the work that he's had to get to that point. Pop's not always been a fan of doing media and doing time on the podium. But he chose to do that yesterday. He wanted to do that yesterday, and that took a lot of courage on his part, because just knowing Greg Popovich the way we all do in that sense, that for him to be seen in public like that probably does a lot for a lot of people beyond basketball, and he knows that. You can deal with something in life, tackle it, move forward, and things might not be the same, but that quick wit was there. I think yesterday's press conference probably did a lot of good beyond just basketball, beyond just the public endorsement of Mitch Johnson. It was powerful.
Look, when you get past, it's sad for Pop that he's got to go out this way. He can't go out the way he wants to. I think it seemed yesterday that he's accepted that. And I know that was difficult for him to make that decision, but I think he's accepted that. Unfortunately, life dealt him a bad hand in this situation, but he says he's recovering and doing better every day. And I do believe he's going to be a part of the front office and a part of the decisions that are made. I mean, what I saw yesterday, physically, he's still ailing. Mentally, I didn't see anything wrong there. And so I think Pop and his basketball mind and his expertise at doing this and building teams is going to come in this offseason. And I think he's going to be a huge part of what happens there. I just wanted to say that, though, because I know people that, that I've talked to since, either on this radio station and the YouTube comments or out and about last night and even this morning. Everybody, it's sad. It's really sad. And in a big way, it is sad. But to me, I'm happy that I got to see him and we got to hear him speak. You got to hear that sense of humor that he's always had. And you know what? It looks like, even though this is a tragic turn of events, it looks like he's going to be okay. And to me, that's the main thing, and I'm happy about that.
That's it. Probably not the way he wanted to announce his retirement or have to end his coaching career, because clearly he didn't get to go out on his terms. But a lot of people don't in any profession, let alone professional athletics. One of the comments on YouTube, it was cathartic. And I think for us as Spurs fans, and I make no bones that I am a diehard Spurs fan. I don't hide that. Absolutely. Right? I am a Spurs fan. And there's been times I've been mad at Greg Popovich and times that I've celebrated Greg Popovich, and that comes with being a fan. But just the human side of things. And I know I said this yesterday, it took me back to my father when he was, before he passed, when he was getting sick, he went from my dad to this kind of frail old man, and to see Pop in that state, but still have that sense of humor, which my dad always stayed sharp, never lost that part of it. And it's hard, but also you appreciate it, and he appreciates it. And I think it was cathartic for him to be able to get up there and say the public thank yous, but also endorse Mitch. And I have no doubt that his role as El Jefe is more than just words on a T-shirt. President of basketball operations, it's not a promotion. He's had that title. He was president and head coach.
Right.
He's still going to be so heavily involved, and you could just tell, going back to, you could see Spurs family on full display. He's still sitting at the head of that table, making all the decisions, or at least his input, and maybe whatever tiebreaker he has to do as they do things as a group, because that mind is certainly still there. And him keeping that part of it while having to give up the coaching part is going to continue to motivate him to get his ass kicked in rehab by Tim and Manu every day.
Yeah, no doubt. I thought there was a cool move, too, to introduce his rehab team that's been helping him out, the therapists that were there yesterday. I thought that was kind of cool. Look, again, Pop, the city, Spurs fans, you got a long history with Greg Popovich, and the things that we've celebrated with Pop and the rest of the Spurs, we'll never forget. And while it's sad to see a guy that you look to who was a rock and a solid, alpha male, if you will, it's hard to see a guy like that. But he's going to be okay. He's got a lot of people. Jacob Eric on our YouTube page says what he took away from him, he's going to be taken care of. And he's going to be taken care of. But I believe he's going to be a big part of building this team and seeing it come back to the success that it's had when he was at the helm as a head coach. And I believe that with all my heart. So go get him, Pop, and bring in some talent to this thing, and let's have some more river parades.
The what's the word I'm looking for? The sense of appreciation that you got from Pop yesterday. And again, a lot of his press conferences, dealings with the media can be snarky. Yesterday, it was as genuine as it gets, probably as genuine since the Hall of Fame speech. On Friday, I know you were off when the announcement was made, but some of the ideas of how does the organization honor Pop. And I said Friday, could it be Greg Popovich floor? Could you see his name on the floor, or whatever you do for a coach retiring his number, his banner that's going to go up at the Frostbank Center and soon to be Wemby Center downtown when Project Marvel gets rolling, whatever statues are going to be in front of that new building. I said Friday, as long as Pop is around, I think he'd probably poo-poo all of that. After watching him yesterday, maybe not.
I don't think so, and especially a banner. And that's going to go up. That'll go up this season. I guarantee you they will have a ceremony early in the season. They'll put a banner up there in the rafters with the rest of the retired numbers, and Pop will go up there. I don't think there's any question about that. I'm sure the plans are already being made for that. And whether you name it the floor after him or what you want to do, and maybe that comes once the new building is built and you do that. But I think the banner goes up early in the season, and I think there's a big ceremony, and it should be. It should be a special moment like that. Look, however you feel about Greg Popovich, off the floor, doesn't matter. If you're a Spurs fan, you have to appreciate what Pop did for this town, for this team, and with the championship banners that are in the rafters already, he deserves to be up there as well.
You think about where the Spurs were when he was just general manager. You wonder, and we think about how close, depending on who you talk to, depends on how close, but they've been close a couple times of moving. Pop was a big reason why they were able to stay. And then, of course, winning and getting a building built. I mean, you think about the value of that franchise, and every sports franchise has exploded in value over the last 30 years, but he's been at the helm of that. And so you think about what these Spurs are worth now, however many billions, 2, 3, 4, whatever that number is. Now Mitch Johnson is shouldering the head coach face of the franchise, not only through the start of Wemby and, getting back to winning ways, but also building a building in everything that will come with it if they struggle in getting the vote and what's necessary there. But I know if you're winning basketball games, it's going to be a lot easier to get people to say yes on a ballot.
That's true.
It's a big time for a 38-year-old to take over a situation like that.
Yeah, big, a lot of, well, I don't know if he's going to show the pressure, but certainly a lot of pressure on him. Number one, to fill the shoes of a legend. And number two, to know that you got to get this team pointed in the right direction and get them winning basketball games again. But that's not all on Mitch Johnson. That's on Brian Wright, and now it's on Greg Popovich to put the pieces in place so Mitch Johnson has those pieces to work with, and Wemby has those pieces to work with, because no matter how good Victor Wembanyama is, we've seen it. He can't win on his own. No player can, and he needs some pieces in place. He hasn't had that. De'Aaron Fox is a big addition. It looks like Stephon Castle is going to be a big star, and build around those three guys. And I think this city's headed in the right direction. And you're absolutely right. It's going to take a winning team to push a lot of people out to vote for a project that is going to have a ton of opposition to. It will. So a winning team is certainly going to help that project move forward.
And let's talk about teams that have been winning this year, because they're in the second round of the playoffs. We'll get into that. What we expect to see tonight and last night's games were both incredible. More on the Blitz coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. If you're dealing with any issues at your house with your plumbing, your AC, there is one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC. 210-651-5899, 651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. No commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions, and they have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. And you want to make sure your AC is ready to go for the hot summer months. They've got a hit the jackpot with comfort special, a Lucky Sevens AC tune-up for $77, a 7-point AC inspection that keeps your system running cool and smooth, which will include a capacitor check, indoor coil and outdoor coil inspection, filter change, air supply temperature check, clearing of conduits in your drain line, refrigerant level. They inspect all of that to make sure you're ready to go for when the oven gets turned on. So call Quartermoon, 210-651-5899, 651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
You're locked on the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons 2 to 6, KTFM Floresville, and everywhere at sasportstar.com.
You know what's better than a limited time deal? An unlimited time deal. That's why the Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag with a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, 4-piece nugs, Junior Hot and Crispy Fries, and small soft drink is available all the time. Because the best time for fresh, never frozen beef and Applewood smoked bacon is all the time. Duh. I feel like I'm repeating myself a lot. For the best deal of all time, gotta be Wendy's.
Unlimited time does not mean forever. U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska, Hawaii, and California and via third-party delivery. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S., Alaska, and Canada.
At the Institute for Functional Health, we are dedicated to helping you live life fully, playing with your kids, golfing, and feeling great without relying on pills. We're not about treating symptoms temporarily. We're about extending your health span, the years you live in good health. I'm Dr. Torres, and for over a decade, my team has transformed lives by tackling health issues at the root. Tired of medications without real answers? Take control of your health with us. Call 210-468-1891 for a free Discovery Day consultation or visit iffhealth.com. Improve your health span today.
Hey guys, are you or your spouse looking to lose weight in time for summer? Head over to any Synergenics or Low T Center for prescription weight loss treatment options. If you qualify for treatment, you can get a free B12 shot when you start. Offer limited. Book now at fixmylowt.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it.
but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds, through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Everyone deserves a fast and reliable connection. One that helps better their everyday through the things they value most. Friends and family, education and career. A connection that opens pathways to opportunity and builds roads to a better future. At Spectrum, we're committed to delivering just that every single day. Because with the right connection, anything is possible. That's Life Unlimited. That's Spectrum.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, another member of Pop's Tree getting some accolades today, Oklahoma City General Manager Sam Presti. He's been named as the NBA Executive of the Year. That's a reward for building that team into a juggernaut that won a league-best 68 games this season. Well, the Oklahoma City Thunder, they lost last night to the Denver Nuggets. They trailed Denver 0-1 in that best-of-7 series. Tonight, the Cavs look to even up against the Pacers and Warriors Timberwolves.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Happy Tuesday.
Yeah, I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. And, well, if you're getting off work right now, congratulations. You made it through Tuesday, and we're getting ready for Hump Day.
Hump Day.
Hump, 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 hump. Hump, 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 hump. I like that. That's a good rap song. Hump, 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 hump. Wicka, 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 wicka. Sounds good, Minix. You'd buy a ticket to that concert.
No.
Guarantee you. Oh, my goodness.
We're 3 hours in, and my man is punch drunk.
I'm high on life, brother. High on life.
High on something.
Yeah. See that? Yeah. Oh, congratulations, everybody. You got off work. You're ready.
The San Antonio Brahmas have a game on Friday night. They take on the D.C. Defenders. You want to go watch some football on Friday in the Alamo Dome? They got AC. They got $3 beer and margaritas before the game, too, which is very, very cool. We got a family 4-pack of tickets. We'll give them away to caller number 12 in honor of their backup quarterback, Kellen Mond. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776.
Wow.
I don't know the number of the starter. I already forgot. His name was Hogan. He actually played pretty well. They just can't score.
Dude. You know, it's sad, and I'm happy, and I know we had somebody asking for tickets with their grandpa. I think I must have made that person mad because I said she, and I don't think it was a she. I think it was a he. Anyway, people still interested in going to the Brahmas game. It's a lot of fun to go to.
They're a blast.
Yeah, well, especially this week.
Yeah.
This week's going to be fun.
This week, there's going to be a concert going on throughout the game.
Yes.
There's a new anthem.
A new anthem?
Yes.
Nice.
Kind of a fight song, an anthem, if you will. Yeah. Sing along with our friend Marcy Grace. It's going to be fun. She's going to play before halftime, all kinds of stuff.
She might perform before that. Like, I don't know, maybe tomorrow?
She might.
Maybe.
She's going to come in studio. Are you going to make her sing?
Well, I would think.
Or are you going to try to sing with her? Please don't do that to her.
You know.
Don't do that to her.
You know what? I might, because.
Should she bring a tambourine for you to play?
It'd be or a cowbell. One of the two.
What's the one that doesn't make a lot of noise?
I don't know. Tambourine's not too.
Well, tambourines have the bells on it, but what's that other one that you see people that they just?
Is that the maraca?
Don't do that on air. Look at the camera right now. Stop doing that.
Well, you can't see me though.
That's why.
There you go.
Yeah. What's going on over there? But I look at every phone line lit up, has been lit up, pledges rolling through them. People want to go watch the Brahmas.
Of course. It's a fun
UFLBrahmas.com. Get your tickets.
It's a fun event to go to. It
always,
really is. Always fun.
A fun event. I mean, it's not like it's conflicting with a playoff basketball game in San Antonio.
No, it's certainly not.
It's just so, like, I am so ready to get back to the postseason. And I know it sucks, and I'd be mad as hell if it happened here. But, like, Disturbed, their show next week in San Francisco has been canceled because of the Golden State game.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They didn't reschedule it. And granted, I don't know if there's a date that they can reschedule. So, Disturbed and nothing more next week. Scheduling conflict, priority, Golden State. They get the building. So I don't know if those guys still get paid for that or get something or whatever, but ticket holders get refunded. And I'm like, man, that sucks. But, dude, it'd be nice if, I don't know, something like that happened here because that would mean we're in the playoffs in May.
Well, it'd be at night. You got to figure they're going to reschedule that.
It's towards the end of their tour, and then they're going to Europe. So,
well, that's true.
I mean, I know, and then I'm like, well, I'm glad Phoenix isn't in the playoffs because I'm going to see them next Thursday night in Phoenix. And that building is wide open because the Suns are done.
Didn't you just see them?
I did last Friday.
Yeah. You're going to see them again?
Yeah, next Thursday.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
Well, I'm taking my kid.
Why don't you just follow them around? Go to every one of them. You could be not a roadie. What is it?
Don't say groupie.
A groupie. A groupie. Jason Minix.
Uh-huh.
Disturbed groupie.
No, but I mean, I saw him Friday with the wife, and I'll see him next Thursday with the kid.
Nice. Okay. Wow.
It'd be fun.
Sure. I'm sure it'll be a blast.
Have you ever gone to the same concert twice?
No. I guess I have. I mean, I've seen old George Strait a few times. But not like within a week.
I've done it. I remember it's been a while since Metallica's played San Antonio, but we saw the San Antonio show and then went and saw the Houston show.
Wow.
Or vice versa.
Groupie.
Didn't you do a 2-day show in Dallas?
Yeah, but that was Metallica, and they're still on that same tour, is 2 nights, no repeat weekends. So on Friday night, different openers, but the Friday night and the Sunday night, completely different set lists. You don't hear the same song twice. See, like when they're in Houston on June 14th, in which I'll be at, it's just one night. See, some cities, Some cities, they're only doing one show. Other cities, like they were just in Nashville doing a 2-night deal. And before that, I think Toronto or wherever. But I've seen Metallica enough. And doing the 2 nights, that's a lot. So June 14th, Houston. If you're going, I'll see you there.
Well, dude, look, I mean, you know.
You're going to go see Metallica in Houston June 14th?
What day is June 14th?
It's a Saturday.
Oh.
Which is why it's perfect.
Probably not.
Why?
No, I don't think so. I won't. No, probably won't.
Have you ever seen Metallica?
Never have. I'm sure it's a great show. Like, I had a good time at the Journey, and what was the name of the other band?
Def Leppard.
Def Leppard. Yeah, that was fun. A lot of fun. Except for that lead singer who didn't know what the hell he was doing.
You would lose your mind at a Metallica show.
In what way?
Just the amount of fun that you're having.
Oh, yeah? I'm sure
and then you would be like, I know this one, and I know that one, and I know this one. It's 2.5 hours of nothing but hits.
Concerts are great.
And Pantera's opening for him?
Oh, is that the sandwich place? Wait a minute.
Tell me you know Pantera.
I've heard of it. Isn't there a restaurant called Pantera?
No, that's Panera Bread, sir.
Oh, Panera Bread. Okay, yeah. I'm sure it's going to be a blast, Minix. Hey, yeah.
Seriously, you don't know Pantera?
I've heard of them.
Okay.
But no, I'm sure I know their songs, but I have heard of them. But I don't. It's not somebody I'm going to kill to go see.
Oh, you should.
No,
dude,
not
it'll
really.
put you in the pit at Pantera.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Speaking of getting killed.
Yeah. I'm good. See, we spend our money on different things. You like concerts and live music. I like to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I go to Vegas too.
Well, and so maybe I'll be at Kickapoo that day or Mississippi. I don't know. I'll be somewhere.
Well, just think, if you went to see Metallica in Houston, then you could have a little quick jaunt over to Lake Charles.
Uh-huh. I could.
Or you can just go to the concert and have a good time.
I could just go to Lake Charles.
Sometimes you just got to go see all the legendary bands while you can, and Metallica is one of those.
Absolutely. But if I happen to miss Metallica before I'm 6 feet under, then I think I'll be okay.
It will change your life.
Yeah.
It will change your life. One of the best rock bands ever.
All right. That's what my brother and sister-in-law say about Def Leppard. They go see him all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah. Now Pledge is making fun of a one-armed drummer. Come on, Pledge. You can't do that.
They have a one-armed drummer?
Def Leppard?
Yeah?
Yes.
Oh, well, I saw that. There's a one-armed stripper in Wichita Falls. Hey.
She beats a different drum.
Don't knock it till you try it. I doubt she's there anymore. I mean, she wasn't a spring chicken then.
You gave her a lot of money.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, put her through college.
What else do you do in Wichita Falls? Holy cow. Except bake. That might be hell on earth. I'm not kidding. That's the hottest damn place I think
When
I've
he
ever
refers to bake, ladies and gentlemen, he's talking about the heat and the sun. Not, smoking weed with a one-armed stripper.
Had she asked.
I thought he was telling her to get in the kitchen.
I'd have to light it for her, though, wouldn't I? I don't know.
Let's clean this show up. Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk will join us next here on the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
We got to talk, though, about Stevens Roofing. I love Stevens Roofing. Been talking about them for a long time. And why not? Local company, family-owned company. And the best thing about them is they live here, right? So they experience all the same weather, the thunderstorms, the wind, the hail, all of that stuff that we deal with, right? So they know what they're doing, and they know how to deal with it. Look, if you think your roof's been damaged by a hailstorm, a thunderstorm, or whatever, Stevens Roofing is the name you need to remember. Or, look, if you just want to get your roof checked out, you've had it for a while, you want to make sure that everything's okay, just in case something horrible happens, and hell, I have a feeling it will. We're still in spring here in San Antonio and South Texas. Call Stevens Roofing and Solar. The number to call is 210-785-0994. If you do that, they'll send out a crew for a free, no-obligation roof inspection. And so whether you need a new roof, maybe you just need a minor repair, or that simple confirmation that your roof is in great shape, Stevens Roofing is going to give you that peace of mind that you want and you deserve when those storms come rolling in. Look, don't mess with somebody else. Get with a company that has an impeccable reputation and that's Puto San Antonio. I mean, they've been here and they're not going anywhere. That is Stevens Roofing. Remember the number and give them a call. 210-785-0994.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
Keep your ride summer road trip ready with parts, tools, and accessories from Summit Racing. We have what you need for pre-trip maintenance, plus essentials like emergency roadside kits, tire inflators, jumper cables, boost jump starters, tool sets, and a whole lot more. So hit the highways or take the roads less traveled with confidence. Shop SummitRacing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 25th, 2025. SummitRacing.com. Let's build it together.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. Along with Joe Reinagel, I'm Jason Minix. Our Tuesday visit with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk, who joined us on the Buyers Barricades guest line. It's going to start with Tupperware. Shireen, did you hear the Kyle Brandt commentary on the boring Cowboys that they had more sizzle when Dave Campa was coach, and they're like Tupperware?
I did not hear that. I missed that one. Sounds like I missed a good, I need to go find it.
Oh, well, hang on. Let's play the beginning. We won't play the whole thing, but just a good portion of it.
The 2025 Cowboys have me feeling nothing. Nothing. And let me explain why. They are by far the least interesting team in their division. By far. 4th out of 4. And I don't know if that's ever been true in my entire life. Even the Dave Campo era had more sizzle than this team does. Even smaller market teams right now are headlights and neon compared to America's team. The Titans are way more interesting. The Jaguars are way more interesting. The Dallas Cowboys coaching hire was not a bold choice. It was sensible. The Dallas Cowboys first-round draft pick was not a bold choice. It was practical. The not paying Micah storyline is a rerun of an episode we've seen 10 times from this team. The quarterback is the quarterback. He'll be very good, not great, say the right things, and get paid, and we'll do it again next year. The most interesting thing that has happened in the last calendar year for the Dallas Cowboys, and I don't even think it's close, is the owner's breathtaking cameo in a television show called Landman, which was beautiful, amazing, and really sad that that was the most dynamic thing we've seen. They are currently like the Tupperware of teams. It's just something you have, you don't think about it, you don't care about it, you put the spaghetti in, you put it in the fridge, you have no attachment to it at all. It just serves a practical need of being one of the teams in the NFC East.
And he just goes on talking about, they're kind of boring. And I'm thinking, a lot of Cowboy fans for many years wish that they would be boring and not about sizzling headlines and more about winning. Yet he's talking about them, and everybody needs and loves their Tupperware.
Well, that's the thing. Still talking about them, right? I mean, how many minutes did he spend on that talking about them? So, okay, they're boring, but we're still talking about them. That's why why they're America's team. Now, what'll be interesting, I think, is when the schedule comes out on the 14th. How many primetime games are they going to get? They always get the max. Are they going to get the max this year? I'm be real interested to see. And if they get the max, or most of those games going to be early in the season, are they going to spread them out? How are they going to do that? So, that's something to watch. But, I mean, come on. People still talk about the Cowboys. They still – even look what the Stars did the other day. What are we talking – everybody's talking about the Cowboys. They're not talking about the Stars, probably not talking about the Stars enough for what they did. But it's still Cowboys country, and everybody's still talking about the Cowboys. So – I like it. He had a good little segment there, Tupperware. That's great. I get some of what he's saying, but the fact is he was still talking about him. People are still talking about him. People are going to be interested in him when the season starts. They're going to be watching the Thanksgiving Day game. Doesn't matter who the opponent is. Will be the highest rated regular season game every single season it is. And you can't tell me if the Cowboys weren't in that game that it would still be the number one highest rated program for the NFL, because I don't believe it would be.
You're absolutely right, and you make a great point, and we've talked about this today. The fact that he's calling the Cowboys Tupperware, but yet he is talking about the Cowboys, which every place you turn, Shereen, doesn't make any difference. ESPN, Fox, it doesn't make any difference. Everybody talks about the Dallas Cowboys. And I credit Jerry Jones for that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, of course. I mean, he's been the guy behind it, the circus master of the whole thing, the ringmaster. He's been very good at it, and that's maybe what he's best at, that and being a businessman, no question about it. You can question his skills as a GM. We have and we will, and we will continue to forever as long as he's in that GM role. But you can't question what he's done for publicity, as a businessman, and all of those sorts of things. He's been very, very good at it, the best probably in the history of the NFL. Tex Schramm obviously was very good at it as well, and that's just continued on with Jerry Jones, and he's taken it yet to another level. So, hats off to Jerry with what he's been able to do. Mike Florio, my boss, keeps saying that Jerry's greatest accomplishment is the fact that they've gone almost 30 years without even playing an NFC championship game, forget winning a Super Bowl, playing an NFC championship game, and yet they're the most profitable, visible, most watched team in all of sports. And so there is something to be said for that, the fact that they have not consistently won. What have they had? 5, I think, playoff wins since then. But yet here we are. Everybody's still talking about them every single day.
And it's interesting because they are the benchmark, and they haven't won a Super Bowl in almost 30 years. Yet there are 12 teams that have never won a Super Bowl. Yet nobody ever really talks about that, and the number of teams that have never actually been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly right. But the Cowboys are the Cowboys, and they became the Cowboys because of what they did in winning Super Bowls and consistently being a winner. And Jerry has taken that to another level, the 3 Super Bowls in the 90s, and he's just continued that despite the fact that they haven't played in the championship game. So, I get what Kyle's saying in the fact that, everybody is going to want to see Travis Hunter. So that makes the Jaguars more visible than they've been in however many, maybe ever in their history. People are going to want to watch the Jaguars to watch what Travis Hunter does. You're going to want to watch the Browns to see if Shedeur Sanders, if he gets in, to see what Shedeur Sanders does. You're going to want to watch the Titans to see Cam Ward. And perhaps this is the most that, we've wanted to watch those 3 teams in a really, really long time. I get that, but they're still not the Cowboys, and they will never be the Cowboys, and it doesn't matter what they do, how many games they win. If they go to a Super Bowl, they're still not going to be the Cowboys, and they're still not going to be the most visible, talked about team in all of sports.
Shireen, I want to ask you, and I don't know how much we can take out of a rookie mini camp, but you go in there, all these players are the greatest, high hopes everywhere. But I'm looking at Schottenheimer and the way he's handling things, and to me, it looks like he's really trying to put his stamp on what's going on there at the Star.
Yeah, he's trying to build culture in his way, and teamwork, and family first is a phrase that he used repeatedly over the weekend, and I'm glad to hear that. I hope it works, and putting Micah Parsons next to Dak Prescott in the locker room, and having guys sit in different places in the meeting rooms, where they sat last year, and things like that. And there is something to be said for that. But at the same time, it's going to come down to players and how many players you have and how well those players play. That's what it boils down to. And I wouldn't say, just back to what we started with, I don't think the Cowboys are 4th in that division. I don't think they're the 4th most interesting team in the division. I don't think they're going to finish 4th in the division. They may finish 3rd, but I don't think they're going to finish 4th in the division. But I do think they're going to be interesting to watch with what Schottenheimer does. And maybe you guys are right, too, that, Jason, that maybe this is good. Maybe not having the drama and all that, and maybe kind of flying a little bit under the radar more so than in the past is a good thing. I don't know. We're going to find out how all those things play out, but it's, as who was it, Jerry or Jimmy said, it's still about the Jimmys and Joes and the players you put on the field, and it's still going to come down to that.
As we visit with Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk here on the Blitz, kind of circling back on Schottenheimer and culture, trying to put his fingerprints on this organization, a guy that was promoted from within. The last couple of days, the Spurs have had a head coaching change for the first time in 29 years. The circumstances obviously very, very different than when Tom Landry ended his 29-year run. But there they brought in, it was new ownership, everything was different. Schottenheimer, one of the reasons he gets promoted is to keep the continuity. And I think the same with the Spurs for Mitch Johnson. But at the same time, he's got to make it his own. How does a coach go about making it his own?
Yeah, I think some of the things that Schottenheimer has done have kind of put his fingerprints on that. Jason Garrett had the team council, whatever he called it, where he had the veterans, and they met and formed a motto that they were going to credo that they were going to live by, and different things that they did in leadership council, and he consulted with them. And I just think there are things like that you do to put your fingerprints on it and try to shape the team in your image. And I think Schottenheimer has done some of that with just some of the little things that he does, and putting a ping pong table in the locker room and things like that where the guys can come in and compete. That's putting his spin on it. No other coach that, since I've been around in '99, has ever done that. They've never had something like that. Now, back in the day, when Emmitt Smith was there, they played dominoes a lot, and they would play dominoes in the locker room. And when Amari Cooper was there, some of them played chess. But I think you're going to see guys compete in the locker room and have a good time and want to hang out, and all those things are good. Again, it comes back to the players, but I think you also have to have that camaraderie and teamwork and, competitiveness and all those things that go into a team. And I think Schottenheimer's done a very good job. Since he's been hired, I give him an A+ for the job that he's done and putting his stamp on the team. He says he's not going to change as a coach just because he got the head coaching hat to wear, that he's still going to be him. I think all that's good.
Shireen, I want to go off topic for a minute. Have you seen this story about Ted Cruz saying the NFL's been walking or tiptoeing up to the rule? It's saying about protecting college and high school football. What if you have? What are your thoughts on that? And do you think that's something the federal government should be involved in?
I have not. I read the headline. I have not delved into much of it yet to see what was said. But yeah, I'm based on the little I know about it, I'm not sure that the government should get involved in some of the stuff it gets involved in and let them handle their own business. But yeah, I haven't delved much into that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's more about the, the NFL gets their days and the other sports get theirs. And it's a 1960 law that, kind of protects high school football on Friday and college football on Saturday. Yet by going to Brazil, the NFL has found loopholes. And I guess Senator Cruz is trying to figure.
Depends on when Labor Day is. Yeah.
Right.
All those sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. And you mentioned Amari Cooper. We haven't heard about him.
I was just going to say, if the NFL has an opportunity to play every day of the week, they will. And I'm not joking about that. I'm not exaggerating about that. If they have an opportunity to play on Fridays and Saturdays, they would do it in a heartbeat. They would play Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And maybe the occasional, we know Christmas, they've already said they're having games every Christmas, 3 games, whether it's Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day of the week it is, that's what they're going to do. So they would take advantage of every single day of the week if they had the opportunity to do that. No question about that.
And whatever else is on, too bad, because more people are going to watch the NFL.
No doubt about it.
Yeah, the more football, the better. You mentioned Amari Cooper in his chest days. There was some talk a week or so ago about maybe Amari Cooper getting back to Dallas. That seems to have quieted down. Is this kind of that period where teams will hold off on signing guys for a couple more weeks, get into the month of June, or veteran guys would rather wait until closer to training camp or in training camp? What's the status on whether it's Amari or another wide receiver 2 kind of option?
Yeah, at this point, you want to wait after June 1st to sign a veteran, because then if they're on the roster week 1, they're fully guaranteed. Their contracts are guaranteed. So you don't want to do that. Like if you get to June 1st and sign them after June 1st, it's an advantage for you as a team. So I think you're going to see a lot of teams, a lot of these veteran free agents who are out there, they won't sign until after June 1st, or the team won't sign them until after June 1st, I should say. And it's for those reasons. So don't wait. I don't, maybe they do one before then, but I think you're going to not see, if it's a trade, yes. If it's signing a veteran receiver, any other veteran, any other position, I think most of those are going to take place after June 1.
Good stuff.
Very good.
Follow her on Twitter at NFL Shireen. Read her at ProFootballTalk.com. Shireen, always appreciate it. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it. The great Shireen Williams on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. A couple of games in the NBA playoffs tonight, plus last night, those 2 great finishes. Let's talk some NBA playoffs coming up here on the Blitz on 94.1 as San Antonio Sports Star. Talking with Shireen and all those different T-shirts Jason Garrett would have made. I know if you're into getting T-shirts made, the best place for you to go get those, Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. If you own a business, run any kind of club, you're a manager, you're a coach, you need T-shirts made, go see Sam. If you need any kind of logo on any of your gear, Sam will get you taken care of. You need that logo on a nice golf shirt, a fishing shirt, any kind of shirt, Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. He has all the big name brands like Eddie Bauer, North Face, Nike, Travis Mathew, Under Armour, Port Authority, to name a few. If you need caps done, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display in his showroom, including the popular Richardson 112 style trucker caps in stock, the Katie caps,
Nike Cap America. Over 700 uniform lines to choose from. Nobody has better prices, and Sammy is the only company in Texas that offers one-day turnaround. No order too big, no order too small. So call 210-824-3900, 824-3900, or go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com, for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Wednesday on the Morning Huddle, fallout from Pop's promotion continues. We'll look at the future under Mitch.
Quote-unquote promotion. And we'll also take a look at the NBA playoffs as they roll on. It's the Morning Huddle. Don't be late. Party starts at 6.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it.
Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat. Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. Getgeorge.com.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minnick. Taco Tuesday.
It's about dinner time, isn't it?
Yeah, although I'm going to Mellow Mushroom, so no tacos.
No taco pizza? Okay.
Although they might be able to create one.
I'm sure they could.
I mean, I don't know. A mighty meter is in my very near future.
Absolutely. No, those are good.
And some of those pretzels and beer cheese.
Nice. Sounds like a hell of a dinner.
And a cold beer.
We got some news on tonight's game.
What do we got?
All three of these players, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and DeAndre Hunter, have all been ruled out for tonight's game too.
Man, we've been waiting for that. Think about what we've seen so far in the playoffs. And home teams so far in the second round have not won. And Cleveland now certainly feels like they could likely lose tonight too, because Indiana's been playing good basketball. I know the Cavs seemingly were hoping to get at least Garland back tonight. It's going to be tough for those boys tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Now, Garland missed game 1, too, so it's but the other two guys, I mean, boy, yeah, that is going to be tough. And you go into an 0-2 hole, having to go on the road, that's going to be a tough way back.
Although if those guys get healthy, who knows? And that's what's been so interesting about the second round. Now, you get another game 1 tonight, Golden State at Minnesota. I like Minnesota in this one. Plus, Golden State just coming off of that 7-game series with Houston. Have they had enough time to rest and prepare? Although being a veteran group, you'd expect them to be ready to go. But, Minnesota is so ready. And quite frankly, Minnesota fan is going to be ready for the return of one Jimmy Butler. Plus, they'll get on Draymond Green, get under his skin, try to get him a tee. The Minnesota crowd tonight should be full throat.
Well, it's interesting that you say that. As we were talking to Shireen, they were previewing tonight's game between Minnesota and Golden State. And apparently, the last time they met, or sometime during the season, it showed a shot of Green grabbing the big fella there for Minnesota and pulling him down. So
it's just going to be
some bad blood.
It's going to be another great night of basketball. I hope Cleveland, as shorthanded as they are, keeps it competitive. But hearing that, I haven't seen how much the line has moved, but I think Pacers are going to go home up 2-0.
Well, it moved from 7.5 to 6 just with that news. And I only know that, Minix, and I'm going to brag because I took the Pacers plus 7.5 before that news.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
All right. So you're already on.
Well, I got an extra 1.5. Anybody else is betting it right now. So, sorry.
Watch Cleveland win outright.
I know they as long as they don't win by more than 7.5, that's fine.
Rally.
Just keep it close.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
Dude, we've had a couple of close games. Are we due for a blowout? I think Cleveland wins by 38 tonight. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Beer bet that or
no,
what?
hell no. I'm not going to beer bet that.
I'm just asking.
No.
Just asking.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. Never know. You got to throw it out there.
Between us, and we've been doing this show now for a little more than 3 years together. All these stupid beer bets.
Yeah.
I have won easily because you like to say stupid things like that and then say, yeah, I'll take your beer bet on it.
Well, stupid.
I say tongue-in-cheek as a joke, and you're like, beer bet?
Well, stupid
Dude.
Is as stupid does.
Well, I mean, again, It's
all right. Sometimes you got to take a chance. You got to take a chance. And had that happen and things worked out, I'd be a genius.
Yeah, we know
genius.
your beer bet record, so genius is not the right word.
Well, I'm really embarrassed about is the Dalvin Cook one. That was, but I honestly thought they brought him in to do something and not just sit in the locker room all day.
You were only 980 yards short.
Well, I was there. That was SOBs. I blame Mike McCarthy. He hates me. I'm glad he got fired.
It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard.
There's another
I was play caller was horse.
Yeah, exactly.
980 yards off.
That's it's close.
That's
right there.
No, I missed on that one. It's a little embarrassing. I was wrong. You were right. I gotta live with that.
Dalvin Cook.
I really thought he would find his second wind, and the Cowboys would be happy they got him.
I don't even know if he broke wind up there. I mean, he did nothing inside of that building.
I'm sure he did that.
He didn't do anything inside of that building.
He pooped the bed. Apparently, he came in just horrible. I don't know why they kept him as long as they did.
I can't even say he pooped the bed, man. That dude finished constipated, man.
Wow.
He nothing with
This man is in his feelings. I wonder why.
What was that? Do that one again, Pledge?
This man is in his feelings. I wonder why.
Somebody buy Dalvin Cook. Buy Ryan Eagle. Go on the way home tonight. Stop at Eisenhower Road Flea Market and see if you can find yourself a Dalvin Cook jersey.
Well, it won't be a Cowboys jersey.
Does it matter at this point? It could be.
No.
Give them 5 minutes. They'll make it.
Don't disrespect Dalvin Cook. He was once a great running back.
Yes.
He was. Guy had his moment. Short moment, but he had it.
Think about he's an NFL player that has 20 yards more rushing than all of us. That's that's it.
Obviously, his brother's a much better running back than he is.
Well, I mean, today.
Well, obviously, Dalvin has some good years with Minnesota.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah.
And then he just lost it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he never really got an opportunity in Dallas.
Well, I don't even know why they brought him in. That's really irritating.
Maybe he just didn't do enough to earn his way onto the field.
Maybe that's it.
I mean, I'm going to guess that's the case.
He was probably injured.
Probably.
We just didn't know about it.
Do you think that's what you're going with?
That's what I'm going with.
That's where
he
had 20 yards on the year. I mean,
he had turf toe. I don't know.
No, he had I can't play this game anymore.
Yeah, that's what he had.
Yeah. Let's do our injury update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at TSAOG.com. Let's welcome on the Buyers Barricades guest line, Dr. Harrison Schofield. Doc, hope your Tuesday's been well, probably a little better than LeBron James. He had to skip that whole Met thing last night in New York because of a sprained MCL, grade 2 MCL. What I'm curious of, he finishes the game and then is seen limping afterwards, and then we're told afterwards that had the Lakers actually extended the series and moved on, he wouldn't have been able to play. If it's that bad, how do you finish the game?
Yeah, Jason, Joe, thanks for having me on. Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, a lot of times MCL injuries aren't too bad, and you can often play through them. It certainly can be limiting. Certainly a little interesting that he was able to complete the game. I don't know if it just having some time off and increased inflammation after that causes it to be more painful, or I'm not exactly sure what point of the game that occurred, but maybe just a good excuse not to go to the Met Gala.
Who would want to go to that anyway, right? I mean, that's a really good excuse. But when you're looking at a LeBron James, and obviously he's got a lot of miles on the tires, right? He's 41 years old. His recovery timeline, as we see it here, 3 to 5 weeks. Is that something that you could see for an older player that has a lot of mileage on that body, maybe being a real factor in what he can do, or maybe a decision whether he even wants to come back next year?
Those MCL injuries tend to really heal pretty reliably. So, I mean, he's got the whole off season. I mean, obviously, just age is a factor for him in general. You know, he's certainly been able to kind of defy all that, kind of like a Tom Brady. But as far as that injury really limiting coming back, I wouldn't expect that to be a big problem for that particular injury typically.
Dr. Harrison Schofield joining us here for our injury update on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. Cleveland has the Indiana Pacers tonight. They're going to be extremely shorthanded. Darius Garland has been ruled out with a toe, Evan Mobley with an ankle, DeAndre Hunter with a thumb injury. Garland, there was a lot of talk they thought he would be able to go. Now, you understand toes, but is there not anything they like? How bad is this toe that they can't numb it up and get him out there in the playoffs?
Yeah, you hate to see that after Cleveland had such a great series and already dropping game one. It's going to be a tough road going ahead for sure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, from what I've seen, it's just a first big toe sprain. So it's usually a turf toe situation, from what I understand. And oftentimes you can do like a carbon fiber insert and kind of help with the pushing off. Taping usually not super helpful. You can numb it up, but you worry about completing the injury and making it worse. And sometimes those turf toe injuries can even require surgery. So obviously they did the evaluation. It's unfortunate that he can't go, but it's not uncommon for especially the higher grade turf toe injuries to kind of linger for a few weeks.
Doc, I've always heard athletes say a turf toe is extremely painful. What is it exactly, and what makes it so painful?
Yeah, so what it is actually the bottom of the capsule, so kind of the bottom of your foot as your toe meets the foot. It's a tearing of that. It's basically a thickening of the capsule. We call it a ligament, and so a lower grade is just a small tear, and it can go all the way to where that's completely torn. And what's so painful about it is that just with every step you take, your big toe is extremely important in that pushing off phase. So every time you walk, and particularly in athletics, if you're trying to run, the big toe is kind of what powers all that. And so if it's torn and not completely healed, every time you're trying to push off and run, you're really just stressing that area that's already torn, which is what, seemingly a very small injury makes it so hard to come back from at times.
And anybody that's ever broken a toe understands the pain associated. Although for him now missing game 2 of this series, the idea at some point, is it going to be better for game 3 or game 4? I'm just, I thought he was going to go tonight based on early reports, and so it must be getting better. But again, it's playoff time. I mean, this is where you got to suck it up and go.
Yeah, absolutely. So, certainly you'd hope. I haven't seen exactly what kind of grade it is. I'm sure they've, gotten imaging and are monitoring it daily. It sounds like you're saying. I'd seen similar reports. It looked like he was going to be able to go. So, hopefully he'll be able to. You would think he is, but obviously they've done evaluations. They're thinking that, if you can't do that push-off phase while you're running, then, probably just not going to be effective, really. And so if he's not going to be effective, then no point in injuring it worse and then potentially, completely missing the series.
Well, the big toe is pretty important too, right? Just for balance-wise, that seems to me if it's not working right, that could cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm sure they obviously don't want to harm his future career, moving forward. So I want to make sure that he gets it right. But exactly, just like you're saying, it's extremely important for balance, pushing off, walking, all those things. Seems like a small deal, but when it's injured, you really can't perform.
It's interesting. Now, one of the Cowboys rookies, Siobhan Ravel, dealing with an ACL injury from last year. He said this weekend at Rookie Mini Camp he can pretty much do everything, although there were some questions whether he would be ready for training camp or even the start of the regular season. So medically, when you hear a dude say he could do pretty much everything, what does that actually mean?
Yeah, it certainly sounds encouraging. I had also seen reports. I think he hasn't done a ton of cutting, pivoting yet, which is, is the biggest thing, obviously, trying to get back. So, a lot of times kind of you hit that, a few months in time point in the ACL, and players are feeling really good. But the concern is that graft doesn't really totally heal in until kind of the 6 to 9 month mark. So you just really don't want to, rush things back and end up with a potential re-injury. So that's why we tend to be really cautious as far as getting these players back slowly, because obviously any repeat injury could be devastating. But definitely super encouraging reports to hear that, and so hopefully, Cowboys got a steal late in the draft there.
And he got a steal, and one of the reasons they took him is because their doctor, Dr. Cooper, did the surgery. From a surgeon standpoint, I guess more about the innards in the rehab. I don't want to say why does that matter, because obviously he's their doctor, so they've got a lot of confidence in him, but does that matter on who performed the surgery when you're thinking about the recovery aspect?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously you want somebody that's high volume and comfortable with what they're doing, and certainly it's a common injury, so a lot of people out there can do it well. But what I will say is that not all ACL injuries are created equal. A lot of times at the time of surgery, you can see injuries to the cartilage and injuries to the meniscus. and that all plays a factor in the likelihood that you're going to be able to return to a certain level of play. So, Dr. Cooper may be able to tell the Cowboys that, hey, cartilage and meniscus all look great. It's just the ACL. And when that's the case, you can have a lot more confidence that you're going to be able to return and not have any pain or problems with the knee going forward.
It's a knucklehead question. You're in there fixing one thing, but you see something else that isn't right. Do you not just fix that, or is that something that you would do later, or like you're already in there? If you see the meniscus isn't right, why don't you just fix it at the same time?
Absolutely, and you definitely try to address it at the same time, but it's just more things that have to heal, more things that can potentially be re-injured, and particularly with cartilage injuries, that's not always just a quick fix where you can just kind of repair it right away, and then can't always kind of get back to 100% after those like you can just from just the isolated ACL.
Interesting, good stuff, Dr. Harrison Schofield. Always appreciate the knowledge and insight.
Absolutely, I just enjoyed it. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Dr. Harrison Schofield. On the Buyers Barricades guest line with our injury update, powered by the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine, online at TSAOG.com. The doc and all our guests on the Buyers Barricades guest line, where they provide traffic control, rental, and sales for San Antonio and beyond, online at buyersbarricades.com. That last part I thought interesting. Yeah, I was in there, man. Everything else looked good, so he's good. Versus, yeah, I was in there, but that meniscus is screwed, man. I don't take that. I mean, don't you fix it while you're there?
I don't know. I mean, do you need permission to do that or give the patient a diagnosis first and before you can do that? I don't know what kind of rules there are for doctors like that.
I mean, if that's a thing, hey, while we're in there, if we see this, should we go ahead and fix it? Well, yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, sure. But they may not have known that was there. By the way, the Express News is reporting that Mitch Johnson has signed a multi-year contract. No word on the amount of money he's being paid. They're also reporting that he will represent the Spurs in the draft lottery.
Which is the bigger news because, I don't know. I mean, I know his agent in that article said, yeah, we got a new deal, but we're not telling you how much. But the Spurs told us that when they announced him as the coach.
I just wonder why, though. Why they don't want to tell us how much money. I mean, the Spurs are notorious for that, and eventually it will leak out.
Club policy.
Right. Eventually it will leak out. So we'll know, but I mean,
guessing not what Pop was making.
Well, of course not, nor should it be.
And, I mean, does Pop take a reduced salary now that he's not doing both jobs?
Nope. I wouldn't. Why would you?
Because he's not doing both jobs.
I think they still owe Pop about $40 million, don't they? Something like that. It's in that neighborhood.
I mean, well, he signed that contract extension, but the Spurs will take care of him.
Absolutely.
No matter
I'm
what.
not worried about that. But yeah, take $3 million a year, maybe 4, 6. I don't know. I don't know what's average for NBA coaches these days.
Well, it depends on the coach and their experience.
Sure. Well, yeah, sure.
Either way, he's gotten a big old raise from the assistant.
Yeah, there's no question about that. And I wish him all the best. I really hope he's successful.
The Morning Huddle gets going tomorrow morning, 6 to 10 a.m. We're back tomorrow at 2. You doing a show tonight, Pledge? Extra Innings with Pledge coming up next here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star is KTFM Floresville and streaming online